we go.
Surprise. We're giving you playtest this right now.
Right
Wait, cue
now.
me. Right now?
Right now.
We're on, man.
Oh, right
This
now.
is
Playtest
live.
this now.
Welcome to, I think this is the 7th iteration of Playtest Now. Playtest this right now. Playtest this. Exclamation point.
Sorry, I
right now.
messed it up.
With Evan Halbert and Jack Dunbar, and joined by Sam Barmettler to playtest Matt Opal's Shred. Did I say it right?
Yes.
Shred. Cool. So let's go through the crew here. Tell us who you are, what you've done, what you hope to do in 30 seconds or less. Go, Sam Barmettler.
I'm Sam Barmettler. I am a hopeful designer and have been watching the show ever since it started. So really been enjoying the feedback on how to implement playtests.
Awesome.
Nice.
Thanks, man. Yeah, we appreciate that you're always there. I am Evan Halbert. I've got one published game, and I really, really, really like to tell other people what to do. So this is perfect for me.
Yeah. I'm Jack Dunbar, New Kingdom Gaming. I have yet to publish anything, but I'm a game designer and playtester, and just love to play games, love to chat with people, and love to help Evan with whatever he's doing. So
awesome.
That's why I'm here.
It's awesome. All right, Matt, tell us about yourself.
I'm Matt Opal. I'm working on a couple of different games, but Shred is the one that's furthest along. I love playing games. I love playtesting games. I love playing published games. Some people may know me from hosting games of Galactic Cruise every other week.
Right.
That's the other contribution, I guess, I make to the community.
Helping out with Kinson Key games.
Yes. There are a couple good guys. They've got a really good game, and I wanted to help them spread the love.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm excited for those guys.
Nice.
Yeah.
Before diving into telling us a little bit about Shred, which I'm excited to play tonight. The board looks great. I love all the components. But Shred is actually a concept because you love heavy metal music, right? Shred is a concept. We were talking about Dilbert before we jumped on the stream tonight. And I recently read a quote by Scott Adams. I promise this connects to Shred.
Okay.
Powerful. But Scott Adams always said he was a subpar cartoonist and a subpar comedian and a subpar businessman. But when you put them all together, he had something unique that the world needed. And I think that's something really powerful for us to think about with game design is what are you passionate about? And then, can you design games? Put those two things together. You might have something unique that the world needs to see. So just something that I thought was kind of neat. And this is really a passion project kind of like that. You love heavy metal music. This is kind of a love letter to that. So really excited to see how it's implemented, what it looks like.
Thanks, man. And I'm definitely a subpar musician and a subpar game designer. And
that wasn't the part I wanted to focus on.
Well, no, that's my takeaway. No,
you are pretty mediocre at all those things.
I definitely am. But hey, how do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely shall we?
Shall we? I'm finally booting up the chat so I can make sure I'm not totally ignoring everybody. Oh, speaking of, that's you, Jack. Never mind.
Yeah, it's me.
Hi. Okay. Let's go ahead and get going.
Okay. So this is Shred. In Shred, we are taking on the roles of heavy metal bands in the fantasy world of Illyria, and we are using our music to fight back against the tyrant king. He is gallivanting around the land, spreading his fascist propaganda, and we are trying to stop him because fascism sucks.
Yep.
So up here we have the turn structure, what the turn structure will look like. So you'll roll your 3 dice, and when you do that, you must use one of them for movement.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say I'm going to use this 6. So when you use one for movement, you can pop it in that little box down there on your player board. And you can move in a few different ways. So actually, I'm going to, let's see. I'm going to do a different example. I'm going to use my number 2 die. So I'm up here at location number 3. I could move 1 space here, 1 space there, and that's my 2 movement. I can just move 2 locations around this outer track. The other thing that I could do is I could move 1 space on the outer track, and then I could spin this wheel 1 space. Also, if you guys set your rotation degrees to 60, each one of these slices on the wheel will be one click. So I can split my movement points between this outer path and this inner rondelle sort of thing. So our player markers will always stay in this position. And every time this wheel spins, we all get the thing that lands on us. So in this case, I would get an album. I think Sam is blue, right? Sam would get a pick token. Evan, you would get a card from the market, and Jack would get a fire token, just all at once. So the last way that I can move is I'm using my number 2, my value 2 die. I can just teleport directly to that location that matches that die. Obviously, well, maybe not obviously. I'm taking that for granted. If you teleport, you cannot spin the wheel because you have no movement points left. You have used all of your movement points to teleport to that exact location. Everybody with me so far?
Yep.
All right. So now you have 2 dice to do 2 actions with. So one action that you can do is you can sell tickets. So I'm going to use my value 6 die to sell a ticket. So I'm connected to both of these venues B and C, as you can see by these little gray lines. And using my value 6 die, I can take one of these tickets out of the bag and I can place it on any number 6 spot in either one of these venues. All right. So when you place a ticket in a venue, you score 1 point for that ticket. And then you score 1 point for every one of your tickets that is connected orthogonally by a full edge to that ticket, essentially. So if I put this ticket here, I would get 1 point. If on a later turn I put this ticket here, I would get 2 points. And then if I put another one here, I would get 3 points. So I placed 3 tickets over 3 turns, scoring me a total of 6 points. Kind of like a Zool. So that is how tickets work. Everybody with me still?
Yep.
All right. So then the other stuff that you can do can be found on your player board. So I don't know, has anybody played Lorenzo Il Magnifico?
Once a while ago.
Okay. It's one of my favorite games.
Okay.
I love it. I
remember it being good.
Yeah, it's by the team of Italian mad scientists, the guys who did, Barrage and Grand Austria Hotel and all that.
Grand Austria Hotel is definitely one of my top 5.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Man, I played Barrage solo the other day and I was just like, holy cow, this game is so good. Yeah, I mean, anything that those guys do, I'm just all in. It doesn't even matter. I've been
Evan, you said Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead. You said Grand Austria Hotel kind of snuck up on you, though, right?
It did. Well, yeah, because I played it online first, and it was kind of like, I don't know, it just didn't really hit as well. Like, I thought it was good, but I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then I played it in person, and then I was like, oh,
I see.
oh, this game's like when when you have the full field of vision, you can really see what all's going on and what's happening, and actually understand the rules that are happening. Um, yeah, it's a top 5 for me. It was, and now I still play it online, but now that I understand what's happening, I love it. I love it.
I think a lot of those games, like especially like Zolkin, I don't think I would like Zolkin if I played it online first.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, anything those guys do is fine by me.
Yeah, right.
All right. So the action selection here is a lot like Lorenzo El Magnifico. You have these actions valued 1 through 8, and these values, you can see it says, this takes a 1 plus. So the die value listed next to these actions is the minimum that you have to, the minimum value die that you have to spend to take this action.
Mm-hmm.
So with a 1 value die, the only action I can take is this one. But if I had a 6 value die, I could take any action in this column, and then I could take these up to these 2 actions as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll just go through these real quick. So if I were to take this first action, I could get any combination of pick tokens and fire tokens in the value of the die that I spent. So if I spend a value 6 die here, I could get any combination of 6 picks and or fire tokens.
Oh.
So picks are like workers in Castles of Burgundy. They allow you to increase or decrease the value of your die by 1, and you can use as many picks as you want at a time. So if I had my value 2 die and I had 6 picks, I could spend all 6 picks to take this value 8 action. Yep. All right.
Oh, so that's how you get 7 and 8 is only with picks.
You can, for the 7 and 8 actions, you can spend 2 dice. It's less efficient, but you can do it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you don't have to spend movement tickets and an action. You can use them.
You have to spend movement.
Okay.
But the other 2 actions are your choice.
Oh, okay.
You could do movement again if you wanted.
But you don't have to use tickets.
No,
okay,
not at all.
Okay.
So fire tokens are gonna be needed to burn down these venues. We'll talk about that in a minute. We'll come back to it. As we're gonna come back to albums as well, because I'm gonna talk about scoring last, I think. I've been practicing this teach, and I haven't found the best place to put the scoring rules in yet.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go through the rest of the actions, and we'll come back to scoring.
Okay.
So this second action here just gets you an album. You just get one, and you have it. That's it. That's the action.
Great.
This 3 value action is to place one of your workers, and that is how you score the venues. So when you place a worker, you have to place it in a venue that your main guy is connected to. So in this case, I would have to place my worker in either venue B or C. And that's how you score that venue. So this worker is gone. But we will talk more in depth about that once I run through all these other actions that are way easier to explain. All right, so the number 4 action is the king will be, just like us, spreading his propaganda through these venues, which after we go through the actions, we'll talk about how the king moves and how the king scores and all of that stuff. So the king will be scoring victory points right along with us. So there's a couple different ways to lose this game. One way is by the king just outscoring us. He just did better than us. The other way is if this marker on this track reaches this bottom space. That means we have lost the land to fascism, and there's no way to come back from it. So that guy being down on that track is bad, but there are a couple different ways to combat it. And this level 4 action is one of them. You can remove 2 of the king's propaganda tokens from any one venue. So when you do that, like this venue here, you just pop them off, and it's actually an infinite bag, so we can delete them, and I'll promote all you guys.
Yeah.
I always forget to do that. All right, and
so is that what this is? This track, the propaganda track, or
so this is the revolution track.
Oh, okay.
So on the player board, there's the revolution icon. So when you remove 2 of the king's propaganda tokens, you will move up 1 space on the revolution track towards the starting position. So you are, further away from losing to fascism. You get a pick token, and you get 3 victory points when you get the king's propaganda out of the venues. All right. Everybody with me so far?
Yep.
Okay. So the level 5 action is you just get to take a card from the market. This market is going to, the bottom card is going to drop off every round, so the market will be rotating constantly. The instrument cards, the gear cards, as I've been calling them, are more passive and persistent bonuses, and the potions, like this guy at the bottom, are single-use, one-time little boosts. So the hand limit is 3 of each. The gear cards, you can have 3 of them at a time. If you want to acquire another one, you just got to discard one of the ones that you have. The potions, you can hold 3 of them in your hand. If you want to acquire another one, you would have to discard one, or you could just use it, because why not at that point? So when you use the potions, it just gets put in the discard pile. When you use the instruments, like I said, it's just a passive bonus, so you don't have to discard it or anything. And then we can go over the individual cards if everybody wants to, or we can just go over them as they come out in the game. How do we want to do that?
As they come out for me.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
Okay, perfect. So no questions about the market or anything like that, right? All good?
Nope.
Okay. All right. So this level 6 action is sometimes the king is going to be adding guards to these venues. So whenever he adds these guards to the venue, that venue is closed off from us. Like, we can no longer sell tickets at a venue that is guarded by the king's guards. The king can still place propaganda there, and it'll score him a ton of points. And if the king has enough propaganda in any of these venues, he will start to close these venues himself, which is bad for us. So having these guards here is not good. So the level 6 action is you can just get that guard out of there, take him out of there. When you do that, you move up 2 spaces on the revolution track. You get a fire token, and you get 5 victory points. So when you move up on the revolution track, let's say we're over here. So if the king moves this guy to the left and it lands on or crosses over one of these guard icons, he will add a guard to the board. If we ever move it past to the right of one of these icons, not landing on it, it has to go all the way past it, we can remove another guard from the board. So that is another way to remove guards from these venues.
Where does he start? Does he start here? Or
no,
here?
he starts at the top, up here.
Okay.
Yeah, and
okay.
he's moving backwards.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. We'll talk about how this moves in a couple of minutes. Like I said, I haven't perfected this teach yet. It's kind of a wonky one. Just how the structure works out. I'm sorry. All right, so the level 7
good,
action is you can take somebody else's ticket out of a venue. So if Sam, blue player, was over here where I'm at, and he had a level 7 action, he can just pop my ticket right out of that venue, and that's the action. He doesn't get to replace it with his own ticket or anything. He just gets to remove mine. All right. So then the level 8 action is you do not roll the king's die at the end of your turn. So if anybody skipped ahead, at the end of your turn, after you have moved and taken 2 actions, you'll rotate the market, and then you roll and resolve the king die. So in this example, let's say we rolled a 2. So the king, wherever he's at, he teleports to the location that matches the number on his die. So in this case, he would move up here. And we cannot exist in the same space with the king. So if we're moving around the board, you cannot stop in the same location as the king. And if the king ever enters your location, he kicks you out. So he kicks us out, Sam and I. And for every player that he displaces this way, the revolution marker moves down that many spots. So in this case, it would move down twice. So if we're all crowded in the same space and he kicks us all out, this would move down 4 spaces, add a ton of guards to the board, get us really close to losing, that kind of thing.
So Matt, do we have to move clockwise around that outer circle?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I always forget to say that. Yep, move clockwise, and the wheel can only rotate clockwise as well. So yeah, that is so when the king moves, he will add 1 propaganda token to each venue. Hang on. All right. So when the king moves, he will add 1 propaganda to each venue that he is connected to. He will add it to the leftmost upper empty space. I don't know if I said that in the right order. The uppermost left empty space. So in venue C, he would add it to this space here, which would score him 2 points. And in venue B, he would add it to this space here, which would score him 1 point. So in that one move, he scored 3 points. So we really got to work to stay out ahead of him.
Yep.
Okay, so after you resolve the king die, you pass it to the next player. And this kind of serves as the active player marker as well. Okay. Everybody with me so far? All right. So now let's talk about scoring, shall we? That's probably important. Just taking some tickets here. All right. So if you look on these little scoring tiles. In the upper left corner, there is a red number, and that number is the minimum number of spaces that must be filled on that card before you can score this venue. Okay, so every card has 12 spaces. In this particular example, we need to fill 7 of those spaces before we can fill this, or before we can score this card. So we have 11 of the spaces filled. All right, we got that. But let's say it's the king's turn this time. He moves here. He adds a venue, or he adds a ticket to this venue. He scores his 3 points. If we look at the upper right corner of this scoring tile, it has the little king's propaganda icon and the number 3. And that indicates that the king's minimum is 3. Our minimum is 7 to score the venue. The king only needs 3. So in this case, the king would score this venue. He would flip this card over. So we'll unlock it. We'll flip that card over. The king would score, in this case, 4 points. We will slap one of these closed tokens over the venue. Now, the rest of us who have tokens, who have tickets in this venue, we will score 1 point per ticket. So I would score 3, Sam would score 3, Jack would score 2. But if you look at this icon down here, if you have any albums, you can spend 2 or more albums to multiply your score by that much. So right now I'm scoring 3 points. If I had, let's say, 3 albums to spend, I could multiply my 3 points by my 3 albums and get 9 points. Does that make sense for everybody? Okay. So you can do that when you score the venue yourself. You know, it does not apply only for when the king closes the venue. You can do that every time a venue is scored if you have tickets in it. All right. Now, if one of us were to score this venue, the venue would not close. We would just score it. All the tickets would come off. So we would just each take our tickets back. And then this venue is available to be scored again at some point later in the game. Unless
does everybody score 4 points, or is that just the king? Or we just score based on our tickets and albums?
Yeah, when we score venues ourselves, we just score face value times any albums.
Okay.
So the 4 points is just for the king. Unless when you score this venue, if you decide to burn it down. So according to this score tile, we need 4 fire tokens to burn this venue down. So I've got my tickets here. I decide I'm going to score this venue. I'm going to spend my 3 albums to get 9 points. I'm also going to spend these 4 fire tokens to burn this venue down. So I flip this, and instead of the closed side, we do the fire side. So we would still get our tickets back and all that stuff. But now instead of this venue being closed, it would be burned. And now I would get those 4 bonus points that are listed on this card. So these, what I need to do is put an arrow in between the fire and the bonus points as well. But yeah, so these bonus points are for either the king or for the person who burns it down.
What if, can like multiple people contribute fire tokens to burn something down, or can only one player do that? Or
right now it's only one player. I'm not sure how it would work if multiple people, like if I contributed 2 fire tokens and you contributed 2 fire tokens, do we split the 4 points? How do you negotiate that?
Is scoring a venue one of our actions?
That is the level 3 action. Yes.
Okay. That's
so
what the worker.
Yeah, you have to place your worker to indicate I'm scoring this venue.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep. So when you score a venue,
that's your opportunity to spend your albums and your fire tokens, and nobody else can.
Well, that's your opportunity to spend your fire tokens. Everybody who is present in the venue can spend their albums.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is your opportunity to spend your fire tokens. So now if you burn the venue down, unfortunately, this guy has given his life for the cause. You lose that worker. It's gone. So you can, at max, do this 3 times. The end game rule, or the end game trigger right now, is player count +1 venues are either closed or burned. So
in this case 5.
In this case 5.
Yeah.
I am hoping to keep this game, even a 4-player game, right around an hour 15. So I don't know if player count +1 is too high. I don't know if it needs to be just straight player count. So this is also the first game that I've played, or that I will play, where the king places 2 tickets each time. I've also tweaked the values on all of these scorecards to hopefully make the king a little more menacing, and also hopefully make it a little more appealing and achievable for us to burn these venues. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. It's a playtest, right? So yeah, that's everything. If you score the venue without burning it down, you get your worker back. If you score the venue and do burn the venue down, you lose your worker.
What are these over here, Matt?
So these are like goal cards, I guess.
If you have your tickets in those patterns.
If you put your tickets in the purple patterns, in any venue, it doesn't matter. These cards don't correspond to anything. And the venue doesn't have to score or anything like that. Just as soon as you achieve one of these patterns, you get the listed amount of points. So the first person would get 8. You flip it over. Everybody else who achieves that thing gets 4. And these are all the same.
What if you achieve the same twice?
No, you can do each one once. So
Sweet.
Yeah,
okay,
I think that's about everything.
I think I got it.
All right. Does anybody else have any questions before we start the game?
Aside from getting the extra points, why do I want to burn down a venue?
I guess just thematic reasons, really. That's a dumb answer. I wish I had a better one.
It prevents other players from scoring there in the future.
It prevents other players and the king from scoring it. And you also you get the bonus points. But also if you are ahead and you want to secure the end of the game, like if you want to make sure that the game ends right now while you're ahead, burning that last venue could ensure that.
Well, it's also the timer, right? Because
it is also the timer.
The only other way for the game to end is if the king closes venues, and if he does, he'll probably beat us because he'll be getting a lot
of points. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Any other questions?
The 2 ways to win will be closing. 5 venues are closed regardless of who closes them, or this guard gets to this left end of the track.
So those are the 2 ways that the game ends, not necessarily that you win.
That's what I meant to ask. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, if this guard gets all the way to the end of this track, the game ends and we all lose, regardless of what the score is.
Cool.
When the fifth venue is closed, we will finish out that round. And then we will do final scoring. So at the end of the game, if there are any venues that still have tickets in them, we would just do scoring for those venues. I guess it would just be one venue, wouldn't it? So we'll score that last venue. You can spend your albums if you have any left, yada, yada, yada. So there isn't really a final scoring phase. But then, yeah, whoever has the most points wins.
Cool.
Sweet. So workers here. I have 4 workers. Yeah, go ahead.
One of your guys is just to move around this board, and then the other 3 that are by your player boards are for the scoring of the venues.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yep. Yeah, I should probably make these ones a different, different component.
Look different.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Cool.
But,
let's do it.
All right. So the way that I've been starting is everybody roll 1 die, and this will be your starting location. So I start in location 2.
6.
Get out of here.
I was already in 6.
Get out of here.
And then we will roll the king die to determine where he starts.
Don't be 6. Cool.
He starts in 1.
Nice.
All right.
What happens if the king starts in 3? Would we go ahead and play some king's tokens?
Nah, we would just roll. We would just roll again, or just put him in 4 or something. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it.
You don't have all. You don't have all the rules figured out. Okay.
No, man.
Every single contingency hasn't been planned. Okay.
No.
All right, that's fair.
That is an interesting question. If that's like a big issue or if it's just fine.
I mean, I think it would just be like put him at the next available location, because I don't think it matters that much. It might. I'm not sure, but it hasn't so far. So we'll see. I don't know.
The king teleports on the board. Does he even have to be on there for the first?
Well, we can't move there, right?
Yeah, we can't end our movement in the king's spot.
He's
correct.
blocking right now.
Right.
But you can move past the king. Like I could move past the king to space.
You can move past him. You just can't end your movement in that space.
I guess there's a question that I have. What if you do roll and every die that you roll comes up that space that the king's in?
You go to jail.
Then you can split your movement between the outer path and spinning the wheel.
Okay.
Or you can try and get some pick tokens, or because you don't have to take your movement first. You can. So you could take your movement before or after or in between your other 2 actions.
Okay.
Yeah. So you could take an action to get some stuff and then move and then take your other action. You can do it however you want. So
Does your movement have to include moving your meeple around the board, or can it just be spinning the wheel?
This is a thing that I have struggled with. It seems like, in my mind, it seems like you should have to move your meeple around the board.
It does seem
but that's another rule.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just try it where, like, however you want to do it. There's the 3 ways to move. You've got the outer path, spinning the wheel, and the teleporting.
Yep.
Let's just say free reign.
Okay.
We'll see what happens, because I've gone back and forth on this a lot.
Okay. Cool.
So movement is optional for this play.
You have to move, but it can be any one of the 3 types.
Exactly.
Oh.
Yeah. You still have to spend one of your dice for movement, but you don't necessarily have to move your meeple. You could just spin the wheel if you wanted to.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I think it's an interesting situation with him being on 1. Because if you roll 3 1s, that seems like the only situation that would be particularly problematic, because you can't move 1 space and you can't split a 1.
But you could use 2 dice to move.
Yeah, you could.
Oh, you could use 2 dice.
Well, you could spend your first 1 to get a pick token, and then you could spend your movement die plus the pick token to make it a 2, and you could move 2 spaces.
Yeah.
And then you could use your third die as a 1 to do whatever else.
Ooh,
okay.
It
Yeah,
works.
so there's ways to get around it, but yeah, for this game, let's just say you can move however you want. Any of the 3 movement types.
Sweet.
So my starting player rule is the person who most recently listened to heavy metal. Has anybody listened to any metal today?
Actually, not today.
Not today. The only thing I've listened to is podcasts today. So we could go back one more day if we need to.
Yeah, I listened to some heavy metal.
Nice.
All right, then you can go first, sir.
Okay, so I
Sam's
will
like
go
currently
first.
got metal in the background.
So I roll my dice.
If we want to, we can all roll our dice just at the top of the round.
Oh, so you can start planning.
So we can start planning.
That's good. Now, tickets, it doesn't really matter which one I cover, right? Like, the number doesn't actually matter.
No, there's
there's
no particular, like, the higher number tickets are not more valuable or anything, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, okay.
No.
And
the only thing is, looking at the scoring tiles, planning that way, which one of these do I want to score, and looking at the goal cards, which one of these do I think I could achieve. But the in the individual venues, the numbers themselves are not better or worse than anything else.
Okay. I will take a 4 for my movement. And then I'll go 1, and then I can just rotate this wheel 3 times.
And you don't have to spend all of your movement points. If you rotate that wheel twice, that would be 3 movement points, and you could say, that's good enough. And that would still count as your movement. Like, you don't have to spend all your points.
Okay. I'll just rotate it once.
Okay.
And I'll take one of these sweet guitars. Let me see.
And then Jack, you'll get a fire token, and Sam, you'll get a pick. And we have infinite bags of them over yonder.
Sweet.
Minimum requirement. I'll take this son of a gun.
Ocean. Nice.
Pew pew. All right, and then I will buy myself. Oh wait, what number do I need to buy a ticket? Oh, this guy.
You just place it there, and
yeah.
You can just place it on.
Place a ticket on this here. El Doso.
So that would score you
El Doso. Nice.
1 point.
1 point.
Big doings. And then I'm gonna move this guy here.
Well, this is the
and we foment the revolution.
Starting space. Yeah, he can't move any higher than that.
So
but this 6 action is if one of the guards were out here blocking the venue, you could take the guard away.
Can I just take a fire and 5 points?
You can take oh, I see, for spending the die. Yeah, no, I don't think so. That's right. Oh yeah, I've never even thought about that. I'm gonna.
All right, so right now 4 and 6 are not active.
Right.
And 3 is not active.
Right.
Okay, so just 1, 2, and 5, and 8 are currently active. Okay, because 7's also not active. So half the options currently not a thing. Okay, got it.
Right.
I will buy another card. Does this refill? Do I get a 5th choice before I pick?
Yes, that refills automatically.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, look at this. The revolution does not move when I am bumped by the king. Don't even try it, Kingy. He's never gonna get near me. I'm gonna place tickets on venue that are blocked by the king's guards if I want to.
Well, dang it, Evan.
I'm
You
sorry,
stole
my friend.
guitar, man.
I was facetious. I wasn't sorry. All right, that was it.
And this was the one that you brought out, right?
That was the one I brought out.
All right. Let's we'll rotate them in order.
Oh,
Oops.
Does the order matter?
Well, because the market rotates every turn, so the bottom one is going to drop off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So let's just when you buy one, we'll slide the rest down and fill from the top.
Okay.
So that way, the newest ones aren't the ones dropping off.
Yep.
All right. So if that is your turn, you can.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. We do the market.
Oh, it's still going.
And then yeah, king.
Now it's time.
There it is.
2.
All right. Dun, dun, dun.
So he goes there and he does.
Wow.
And then this moves down 1.
Yep.
And he will add a propaganda there and
there.
1 there
Ooh.
for 2 points.
Yeesh.
Kang is Kangy. And do we just go left? Like?
Yes, sir.
Oh, it goes to me.
Yeah, buddy.
Huh. Sweet.
Left, clockwise.
He's kinging it.
Is that clockwise? Okay.
I mean, it is in like
Towards middle.
real life.
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It's clockwise to me.
Normally. Okay. Yeah.
My orientation.
Awesome. All right. I will. Let's see about this new guitar.
Oh yeah.
Bump your character.
What? Could have used that a minute ago.
Is that the same? So Matt, is this if the king can't bump you, does it also have the same effect as this base that the revolution marker isn't moved? Or no?
Well, sort of.
I guess.
So like if I didn't get bumped from this venue and I had dice that I wanted to place, say specifically in this venue, if I got bumped, I'm no longer connected to venue B, so I couldn't place my die. So it's a very similar effect. Yeah, it's a very subtle difference.
Okay. I am going to now. You don't have to place tickets. Is that right?
No. Yeah, you do not have to.
Well, I'm going to.
They're quick points. Yeah.
Can I place tickets before moving, or do I have
Absolutely.
to move first? Okay.
You can do it. You can
So
you can do whatever
I just
you
wanna
want.
Make sure. Okay, I'm gonna place a ticket there.
So that will get you a point.
Yeah, I'm gonna do 3 movement. And I am gonna
Land
go
on the king. Land on
1,
the king. Sure.
and then I can spin this once.
Mhm.
Can I spin that just one space? So if I
Yeah.
use 3 movement, I don't have to use all 3.
You don't have to use all 3.
Cool. Okay, so I'll get a market card.
There you go.
I take a fire token. Oh wait, that's not the right fire.
I'm going to take this
Yeah,
base that allows me to ignore minimum scoring requirements.
Hey.
You just start closing them out left and right.
Yep.
Yeah. And then I'm going to use the market again. And let's see about this. When placing a ticket, place 1 additional ticket.
What?
Yeah.
What?
And that additional ticket does not require any die, so you can place it in any spot that you would like. It has to be in the same venue as where you place your first ticket, but there is no restriction number-wise where you can place it.
But that's consumable, right? Then it's done.
Yes.
Sweet.
It's just one freebie ticket. All right.
Exactly.
Well, that's rad. Okay, I'm going to do that. And then I roll the king dice. Or adjust the market.
Yeah. There.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do the market.
Okay.
Whoops.
Oh, sorry. I got a little bit over eager.
That's all right.
I was just moving stuff.
No worries. So this card up here turns your 4 value action into a 2 value action. So the removing of the king's propaganda becomes easier for whoever has the recording equipment.
I see.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, then roll the king's dice. He's going to 3.
Oh no! Why'd you do that?
Cause.
All right. So those both get bumped, and this moves down 2.
We place a guard.
Yep. So this guy moves, and so when we place a guard, roll the die again.
Me?
Yep. Roll the king die again, and it goes to 3. So the guard will get placed here.
Not this one.
Right. It gets placed in
clockwise.
the first connected venue in clockwise order to the location that you roll.
Cool.
So we can no longer place tickets in this venue until that guard is gone.
By we, you mean you guys. I can still place.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Have you seen my sweet guitar?
It's got a snake coming out of it. All right.
So I'll toss the 6 in for tickets.
That's 1 point.
Now the number 4 action, that's connected. Is right. You got it. Yeah.
No, you can just anywhere. Oh wait, I'm sorry. We also forgot when the king moved, he placed tickets here, netting him 3 points.
Yeesh. Man, that king.
Yeah.
What is the relevance of his
our music?
What is the relevance of his point value?
I'm sorry.
What's the relevance of his point values?
Because if the game ends the normal way with 5 venues closed, if he has more points than us, then we still all lose.
I see. Okay, cool.
So the 4 action, that would remove 2 of his, and I could do it from any venue.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Remove them.
I'm thinking if the guard is there, you can't do it. But
sense.
Any other venue.
Does it have to be a connected venue for me to remove a guard?
No.
Okay. Then pull him back off.
Yeah. Nice, Sam.
Hey.
You taking my 5 points.
So this guy moves up twice then. You will get a fire token and 5 points.
Sweet.
What I wanted.
How'd you get
taking my tickets?
My game's just like not dragging out of these bags.
Oh.
Here, I gotcha.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And I'll give you your 5 points.
Thanks.
Cool.
And then for the movement, it's, go ahead and move this 3 times.
The wheel?
Yeah.
All right. 1, 2, 3. All right. So I get a market card. How about that?
That just moved twice, didn't it?
It kind of skipped over this space, and so it just went to that one.
Okay. Because didn't Jack pull a market card last time?
I did.
With the wheel?
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, it was like that.
It was like this?
Yeah.
So 1, 2, 3. So like that.
Yeah.
Sweet. I wanted an album.
Oh, man. I get an album.
Oh man.
All right, so the PA system just came out, and it gets you an additional 3 points when you score a venue, regardless of whether you burn it down or not.
That's
you
cool.
just get 3 bonus points.
Sweet.
All right, so the king stays there, and he adds tickets, so he will get a total of 5.
Ooh. Yikes! And he closes this venue too, doesn't he?
Oh, that's the one with 3, isn't it? Yes, it is. Dang. All right.
Man, that's a bummer.
Okay. Lock those.
Oh, whoops! What am I doing? Got all messed up. Hold on.
It was
I
I got a fire token last time, so it was like that.
Okay, never mind. I didn't fix it. I just made it worse.
All right. So what is the? All right. So the minimum, the king's minimum on this one is 5.
What are the chances? It'll be fun.
All right. Let me see here. I'm going to spend my 6 to get rid of the propaganda there. That will move up there. I'll get a pick. I will get 3 points. I'm going to. What am I going to do? I'm going to spend my 2. Am I?
Man, I feel like that was way easier than I expected for the king to close that venue.
Yeah. Yeah.
He just ran it closer to his win.
All right. I'm going to spend the 2 for my ticket. I'm going to put that there and score another point. Then I'll do 3 for movement. I'm going to go 1, and I'm going to spin that twice and get an album. And everybody gets their stuff.
Oh, I got another bucket card. I'll take this thing.
And then I roll the king's die. He goes to venue 4. Uh-oh. He bumps you 2 guys. Oh, wait. Evan does not get bumped, right?
No, I do get bumped.
Oh, okay.
A bump, bump, bump.
That moves down twice. He adds 1 there and 1 there for 2 points. And it is back to you, Sir Evan.
Back to me, huh?
Mm.
So I roll my 3 dice.
Do we get to re-roll our dice now that it's the top of a round?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So now there's still no guard for me to gain my 5 points and a fire. Okay. There are some tickets for me to. That's cool. So let's remove this here. Get out
You can
of
just
here.
delete them if you want.
Okay, yeah. And
we forgot to rotate the market, didn't we?
I'll get a pick. And 3 points. There we go.
Da-da-da.
And then I will place. Let's see.
The microphone moves down your remove the guard to 4.
Did you move the revolution track when you removed those tokens?
I'm sorry.
Did you move the guard on the revolution track?
I did not.
Okay, so he goes up 1.
6. He's gonna be. There's no tickets near me that are a 6. Okay. I'll just take 6 fire. Can I do that? that how that
You
works?
could take 6 fire. You could take 5 fire and a pick. Any combination that you want.
I will take 1, 2, 3, 4 fire. I lied. I'm going to take 5 fire. And a pick. And then I will move way over here.
Ooh.
Hey, hey.
That's what I wanted. Or do we just go to 1, 2, and a 3? Right there.
Well, you were at 5, so that's only 2.
1,
And then you're gonna
2. Okay, I'll go over here. I only want to move 2.
Hey.
Go say hi to my buddy Shred and Jack.
Shred and Jack.
All right. We'll rotate the market.
Oh, I gotta roll the thing.
So this microphone turns the removing guard action from a 6 into a 4.
That son of a gun is gonna beat us.
He's done it again.
He's done it again. That's another 3 points for him.
Yep.
Oh man, he's a big scorer.
And he moves that twice. So now he places another guard. So go ahead and roll the die again.
Oh. Place another guard for somebody else to.
Yep. 5. So that guard will go here. So now this venue is off limits.
Yeesh. All right. Cool. Is that
that's it?
That's my turn. Sweet.
Yes, it is.
All right. Well, I'll see you later, Evan. I am gonna
We just survived an interaction with the king together, and now you would leave me on the road.
It's okay, man. Shred Jack has to move. But
I'll see you again.
I'll see you again, big squealing Evan. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Over here. I'm gonna move here. And
how'd you know my college nickname?
It's just a total
shot in the dark.
Listen to all of your albums. Okay, so I moved here, and then I'm gonna place a ticket, and I'm gonna use my potion to place an additional ticket.
Dope.
And I'll go plump.
That's 2 points, and then 3 more points for a total of 5.
Nice. So yeah, nice.
Yeah, you evaluate each one individually.
Yeah. So 2, and then and then I got the 1. So 6 points total. That has been scored. Okay. All right. Yeah. So that was my movement.
And then this
tickets
goes away.
Yeah. And then I will, for my action, I have a difficult choice to make. But I think what I'm going to do is I can remove the guard here, right? With a 4.
No, that is the propaganda. The guard is the propaganda. 6. Do you have any picks?
Yeah, no. That's fine though. Picks. I might remove King propaganda. Because I can remove
this venue is another 3 minimum as well.
Yeah, it's close to closing. So I think I'm gonna remove the King propaganda here.
All right.
So I get to remove 2 of those. We go down on the revolution, which actually moves this guard also.
Yes.
Sweet. So we'll get rid of this guy, get rid of that guard.
Yep.
And then I'll get a pick, and I'll get 3 points.
Yeah, you will.
Sweet. Nice. That's it for me. And then we'll replenish the market here. So I'll move those down. Whoa. There we go. And then roll the king dice. Let's see. 1. He stays.
All right. So that's 1 point plus 2 points.
Man, his propaganda can't be stopped.
Yeah.
It's not music, it's air pollution.
That's right. All right.
Go 3 for the movement, which allows me, I can just place myself up here, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. 6 for tickets. And then because I have this, I could place this 3 here.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So you get 1 point for the ticket.
Let's remove these 2.
You can just delete them if you want. All right, so this guy moves up again, and you get a
Nice.
pick, and I'll give you your 3 points. All right.
Oh, did somebody move the thing?
I moved the revolution marker, yeah.
Oh, I thought somebody moved this.
Oh, the wheel? No.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Like, okay. Cool.
Sweet.
Do.
Oh,
No.
market. We need to move the market.
Oh, yeah. All right, so Evan gets bumped, so that moves down. King will only add 1 ticket here because this other venue is closed, so he gets 2 points. And now it's my turn. Okay.
Huh. Can you only have 1 of each type of equipment? Like I have a base. Could
You
I
can
get
have another
base?
you could have another base, like you could have this one. You just can't have another copy of this particular base.
You can
Interesting.
have.
Not saying I want that base because I
You
don't.
can
I
have
don't
an
want to
entire band of just bases. You know that.
Yeah,
right?
it'll be like that one Spinal Tap song where they all
Exactly.
play bass. Evan gets it.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna spend my 4 with a pick to place a ticket here and get myself 2 measly points.
Son of a gun.
Then I am going to place. I'm gonna use my 2 to place another ticket there and get 3 more points.
Encroaching on stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. And then I have to use the 6 for movement, don't I? Let's see, where do I want to go?
But did you play? You can use dice to place more than 1 ticket in a turn. Is that true?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, any combination of however you want to do stuff, as long as you do 1 for movement,
Okay.
you can do whatever else you want. I'm just gonna move 1 on here. I'm gonna spin that wheel. 1, 2, 3.
That wheel.
All right, so I'm getting a market card. I need a dang old card. Let's see. I'm gonna take that base so I can get 2 extra fire and or pick tokens whenever I gain any of those. All right, so that comes off. Those move down. Oops. And now I will do the king die.
King die.
That is a
Number
very
5.
cool base.
Yeah, I like it.
Oh man, I got moved.
Put a guard out.
Oh no. All right. So the guard goes to right there. And the king will add propaganda here and here for 2
Are you
points.
sure the guard goes there?
It shouldn't be.
Oh
here.
no. Let's re-roll it. My God. All right. That looks like a 6 to me. So it would go right there.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. That is my turn. So there you go, Evan. We can all re-roll our dice.
All right. I am going to use Ina pick to do the thing that's And I get a fire. 2, 3, 4. Hello, everybody. Whoa.
Hey.
Hey. And then I'm going to. Where am I? Over there. Ugh. I go here. This one is. And then I go. Does the orientation of these things correlate one way or the other with these things?
I think they are rotatable.
Okay, it's flipsy flopsy. Okay,
Sure.
excellent. In this case, I buy ticket. For ticket for use. Get rid of this thing, and then buy this. Like, oh, see it, guard. Later, buddy.
He was right there.
He was right. No, he was one. He was one further up.
One more.
Yeah.
All right. And you get 1 point for your ticket.
I get 1 point from. And then I roll this thing. Yeah.
5.
Fiver, which is right where he is, and he's gonna get 1, 2, 3, 4 points. Yep.
All right.
I have a question, Matt.
Yes, sir.
Can I move all the way around the board and place and move back to the spot I'm in?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, I may use a pick to make my movement 6. So I'm going to pip this one up to 6.
There you go.
And I may use my movement. I'm going to go all the way around the board, and I'm going to come right back here.
Great job.
Then I'm going to use my other pick to pip this 3 to a 2. And I will use that for tickets, but not before I gain this potion and use it immediately to place 2 tickets. So I'm going to place
Excellent.
a ticket
Oh
on
my
the 2
goodness.
and a ticket on the 1.
So that would get you. Why would you not put it here for the 4 points? Or you're going for the goal?
Well, maybe I should. Maybe I'll do that. But then, if
so that would get you would get you 5 points instead of 3 points.
Yeah.
Is that what you want to do?
I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. This would just give me.
I mean, if you get this, like there's your extra 5 points.
I'm gonna do 3. I'm gonna do 3 points.
Okay.
Go for the long play.
There you go.
So there we go. I'm at 12. Yeah, and that's my roll. And then we'll did you already move the market?
I did not.
Okay.
So
haven't seen a blue potion. What's that one do? Place 2 propaganda in any venue with your own tickets. Wow.
What?
Drums are cool. Okay. Roll the king dice. Let's see what he does. Number 2. Number 2.
Number 2. We get 3 points.
3 points.
That is.
Oof. And he closes that venue.
Oh shit. Oh man, that sucks. All right. So Evan, would you like to you score 1 point there? Would you like to spend your albums to
I would
double
not.
It? Okay.
I would not double it. I only have 1 album. I would just
All right, so the
single
king
it.
gets 4 more points. So let's get rid of those guys. And that flips. And that closes it. We'll lock those. There it is.
Jeez, the king is way out ahead there.
Yeah. Just gonna get these out of here, just so they.
That was a terrible roll. I'm sorry, everyone. I feel like
such is life under fascism.
Yeah, I feel like my rolls are making me complicit with this fascist king.
I feel like that's actually true.
Because like, what kind of metal are you even doing?
I think you're a plant.
You're one of those.
Surprise.
You're one of those racist metal bands, aren't you?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I score 1 for that ticket, and then when I put another one here, I'm going to score another 2, right?
Correct.
Okay.
I am the king's rad bassist.
I do want to work in some rules where like you can align yourself with the king.
I mean, it seems
and have
like
it be like some kind of like little social deduction like variant.
Yeah,
but I need to nail down the rest of the game first. But I do like that idea.
seems like Jack's already working on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what that looks like for you.
All right, so it looks like Sam spun the wheel and we all get stuff. I get 3
Nice.
fire because of my
Ooh, I
my
get a
cool
pick.
base.
Ooh, wow. I get another album. That's rad.
Mm-hmm.
Jack, is this your base right here?
Yes.
Okay. I guess I should spread these player boards out a little more.
Sam is.
I need to roll the king die.
Ooh.
Did we rotate the market? No, doesn't look like it.
Nope. 4.
Right.
Swinging and
Oh,
missing, the
man.
king. Your
3
informant.
there,
Your informant
2
is slacking.
there. So 5 points.
Ooh. Oh.
Man.
Oh. Oh.
All right. I guess that's my turn, isn't it? Well, let's see. I'm going to spend my 4 to remove a couple of propaganders. I'm going to get rid of that one.
So a 7 allows you to play a ticket anywhere. Is that what a 7 does?
The 7 allows you to remove another player's ticket.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. That's why it's a red arrow. That makes sense.
All right, so I'm going to remove those. This guy goes up. I get a pick. I get 3 points.
You removed 2 kings propaganda?
I did.
Oh, you have a fancy thing that lets you do that?
No, that's
No,
just
that's
the
what
action.
I thought it just removed 1.
No, sir.
Huh.
It's 2.
Okay.
I'm going to use my... Oh, wait, I get
Look
2
at that.
more picks.
That's what the 2 on the icon means.
I can't read, so it's an issue.
I'm sorry.
It has caused problems.
I didn't mean to highlight this.
It has caused problems in the past.
4, 5. And
I think I did it once and
spin
only
the wheel
removed
once.
1. I think I get a bonus 18 points in
I
retrospect.
think that's how it works.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to gain 3 picks from the
18
wheel
when-
spinning.
Interest.
18 would barely be enough to outplay the king.
I know, right?
And then I'm going to spend 2 tickets to turn my 2 into a 4 and place that there and get 4 points.
Ooh.
All right, so now I do the king die.
Do we do the market?
Yes, we do the market.
Do.
We do.
Hilarious.
King moves to 6.
I do the king.
Bye, Jack.
No.
Do.
All right, so that goes there, scoring the king 3 and 4 points for 42. Okay. Evan's turn again.
All right, back to me. Roll them bones. 5, 5, 3. Okay. So, I'm gonna all this stuff now. Double rewards with a wheel spin. Yeah. I'll just spin the wheel to get that thing. Waste everything. I'll go 1, 2, 3, and spin the wheel once, and take myself a drum set.
Woo! Hey, let's get some fire.
Get yourself a drum set.
It's made out of bones.
All day long we smash on them bones, make a nicer drumming sound.
You have 3 gear cards now, so the next time you want to get one, you'll have to discard one of the ones that you have.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
sorry,
nice.
bro.
Can't be hauling around that gear everywhere you go.
Rough.
Your band van is small and bad.
You can hire a roadie,
but my roadies are big and strong. I am gonna.
I should add a card that increases your hand size. That would be dope.
I'm gonna go
asymmetric.
Here. We're gonna go
place that works, and you can carry more stuff.
1. Who's Jack? I feel like you're gonna come out way ahead.
I don't know. I don't think so. How? How will this?
I remove these 2 things. I delete the, and then I take a pick. Und.
Did you move the revolution marker?
I did not.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
Und then I use the other one. Lebowski. Oh. Und the other one. That's it. And then we move the thing, and we move other things. Oh, that's too many things. Whoop, 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 whoop. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop. He goes to 5. Get out of here.
Oh, no.
Yeesh.
All right. So he gets 1 point here.
And 4 points.
And Jack, he ruined your thing.
That's a bummer.
I hope you rolled well enough to remove that propaganda, sir.
Better do it. Oh, he doesn't.
Is it my turn?
It is your turn. It is.
Well,
fight him, Jack. Fight him.
Fight him, Jack.
I will.
Jack.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna gain 5 picks and or fire tokens. Okay, so I'm gonna gain 2 fire and 3 picks. 1, 2, 3. Then I'm gonna move, and I'm gonna up my movement by 1 by spending one of my picks I just got.
Okay.
So my movement will be 6. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Using my 6th, I will spin the wheel. And when I do that, I'm gonna take this remove propaganda thing.
Hey.
And I'm gonna get rid of all of these. 4.
Oh, you got the 5? Nice.
Yeah, and I'll get rid of this one in.
It's from any one venue.
Oh, okay. So I'll get rid of those 4. Okay, so that was my thing there. So I did my movement, did my picks. Now I have 2 picks, and I have a 5 that I rolled. Sure.
Sure.
I will just do this. I'll spend a single pick, and I will make this a 4. I'll make it a 4, and I'm gonna place one of my tickets here, because unfortunately I can't finish that, but I can at least
you still
score
get
a
3
bit
points.
more.
3 points.
1, 2, 3. Okay.
Right.
And then mark it. Yep. And I will roll the king dice. 4. He goes here.
So that will be 2 points for him and another 2 points for him.
49.
What happened to all these?
Yeesh.
Jack removed those with a potion card.
Oh, with a potion.
Okay.
Cool.
Use the 3 for movement. Teleport up here.
Sneaky brick.
Spend 3 picks. Do this for a 5. Now, does this pattern have to be exact, or can I have more tickets on the board than that?
Yeah, you can have more as long as this pattern is fulfilled.
Okay. So use this.
Discard is up here. Yep.
Which we'll get rid of those 2 and replace them with my own tickets.
Nice.
That's a good score.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to score my 2 for.
I gave you your 2.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yep. And so now you get 8 more, and we flip that thing.
Plus, what was that? 7? Do you get 7 for placing those 2 tickets there?
Well, let's see.
I think
that one he would get 3, and that one he would get 4. So yeah, so we'll just call it 15, which would put you up to 30.
Rad.
Big move. Then I will do this one for tickets and drop that there.
Oh, dang. So that's 2, 4, 7 more. Nice.
Cool.
Nice.
All
right. I'll rotate the market.
Oh, no.
Get out of here.
All right. The king will get 1 point there. 3 points there.
Wait, why does the king go way down there?
Oh, wait. Why does the king go way down there?
I don't know.
1, 2, 3.
The long arm of the law.
Yeah, right.
So he just gets 1 point.
He just gets 1. Yep.
Cool.
All right. Okay. All right. So let's see here. I'm going to do 6 for movement. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to take this potion. Then I'm going to spend that to delete those 2 propaganders.
Propagander.
And I get 3 picks. And I get 3.
You have a bunch of picks.
Points. I have a shitload of picks. Yeah.
You have too many picks, man.
I think it is too many. How many do I have? It's 2. I have 11.
That would be a cool end game scoring thing, like additional picks or leftover tokens.
Yeah, I've been thinking of doing, just like for every 3 fire picks and albums that you have left over at the end of the game, you get a point.
Yeah.
So
I think I'm gonna need that.
I'm also going to spend this potion. So I'm going to put my 5 right there, which will score me 5 points. And that potion allowed me to place an extra ticket, so I'm going to put it there, which will get me 6 more points. And that looks like it's my turn. So I'm going to roll the king die. King goes to 5.
And then the
King-
market needs to be
The
rotated.
market shifts. Yep. The king gets 1 point. The king gets 2 points.
Weak.
Back to Evan.
All
and
right.
we can all roll.
Okay, so let's see what the heck this. Um. 4. 1, 2, 3. Take this card.
Right.
And I feel like I'm not gonna use it. And I am gonna go 5. And the 1 with a pick. What a tick.
Oh, interesting.
Yep. And then we ditch some stuff and move some stuff.
Yeah, move that stuff.
Move that stuff, man. Then we flip a thing, then we flip another thing.
Roll it.
El Quattro.
Oh,
Oh.
no.
See ya, dudes.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
no.
Fascism.
It's on
Fascism.
El6O.
Yep. Uh-oh.
Yeesh.
Oh, and he needs to add stuff here. So he gets
Yeah.
1 for that one and 1 for that one.
2 points. Yeah, the king starts slowing down as we fill up the board with other tickets.
Okay. My turn?
I think
Yeah,
so.
buddy.
Yep.
All right. Well, here we go. I'm going to move. I'm going to get rid of that guard. So I get rid of this guard. And it moves the fascism track down too. So I get rid of
Yes,
this guy.
sir.
Where's he go?
Yes, sir.
Can I just
Just delete him? Yep. Kill him.
Fire.
Nice. And he is going to be worth, when I do that, that's worth 5 victory points. And I get a fire token, right?
Fire.
Yes, sir.
So fire token, 5 victory points, puts me at 20. Cool. So that was my first action. I'm going to move 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I will place my 2.
Hey, hey, hey.
Which scores me
Hey.
4.
Yes, sir.
There you
Plus
go.
I get the 8 for
There
this.
you go.
Sir.
So
Flip
32.
it, flip it, flip it.
32.
Great job.
Sweet.
You've done it.
And then market shifts over. Move this guy down, down, down. Boom. And then roll. We got 3. King goes to 3.
Bingo.
1 point for the king.
Loser.
Yeah, it's interesting how you can like box the king out. So
Mm-hmm.
what happens if a venue gets filled? Is it automatically scored or?
No, because some of these minimum requirements are that the venue is filled, like this one.
Oh, interesting.
So no,
Okay.
you still have
Yeah,
to
yeah.
you still have to spend the worker, or you can leave it and then it'll score automatically at the end of the game.
Okay, cool. Sweet.
That was your turn. All right. So you.
I wasn't paying attention.
4 to move. 1 plus a pick to get rid of this guy up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of.
You can actually get rid of 2 if that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get rid of this one too.
Boom.
And that moves this up. And it's worth
3
3
points.
victory points, right?
Yes, sir.
Then I'll throw this one in for tickets.
Tickets.
Wow, that's
Now
touching.
All of them. That's 8
9.
points.
Yep.
9 points.
Okay.
Wow,
Mm-hmm.
that's a cool move.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Oh, got to move the market.
The king will get 1, 2.
Ooh. Man, the king really is just he's constantly moving.
He's a jerk.
He sucks.
The king's a jerk. I like the king illustration.
Yeah. He's pretty sweet looking.
Yeah. Google clip art.
He looks anti-music.
I
that's for
say, thou
Oh,
shalt
he hates
not
music
rock.
for sure. Yeah, he hates music for sure.
sure.
It makest most unfoul thine air.
Okay.
Air is foul, polluted.
Thick with the stench of grunge and metal grime.
All right.
Look at
I'm gonna
their
use
hair moving.
6 and a pick to remove Evan's token from there. Sorry, bud.
Yikes.
I'm gonna use my 4.
Must say, that feels pretty bad as the guy farthest down on the track.
I'm gonna use my 4 and 3 more picks to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Can you be there while the king is there?
Oh shit! I didn't even see him. No, I can't.
Cheater. That feels
I'm
better.
gonna move here and spend 1 more pick.
Yeah,
'Cause
okay.
I have so many.
You have too many picks.
So I get 3 fire tokens for doing
Wow.
that. So now
Oh, did you move the wheel?
I did move the wheel. So yeah, everybody else gets stuff. How many? That takes 10. Okay. And we've got 10. Okay. So I'm going to spend 1 more pick. So I'm going to score this venue.
Nice.
So the king will get 4. Delete those. And I'll get 2, 4, 6. I'm going to spend my 4 albums to get 24 points.
Yeah.
So that is 54.
54.
I'm gonna do that. I am going to spend how many fires? 6.
6.
All right. So I will spend my 6 fires to burn that down, which gets me 10 more points.
Ooh. Oh. Not past the king.
Got past the king.
Pretty cool.
And that is my turn. So let's get, whoops, no. You stay, you go. All right, so I gotta do a market, yes.
I'll take care of that.
Oh, thank you. I'll do the fascism die.
Okay.
All right. So
5.
5. Oh no.
Oh, geez,
Three of us.
That's a lot of fascism.
Pew,
1,
pew,
2, 3. That's a lot of fashion.
Whoa.
Um,
He just doesn't want to move past that.
6.
All right.
Here we go.
And his
So-
guard is here.
that would be
Wow.
right there. Oh, and he adds this right here, which would be 2.
Mhm.
Okay,
Back in the lead.
so there it is. All right, back to Evan, and
out
we
of
can
here.
all re-roll.
All right, I'm going to rotate this by 1. Myself an album.
Oh, I get a market card.
Macacad. I'm going to
Take that
replace.
potion.
Replace these 2. Whoa. With these 2. Oh. Do I get points and stuff or just replaces?
Yeah, 3 points, man.
Yeah.
Boop, boop.
Look at that. Still in the lead. Okay, and then
Yeah, you've made it all the way around.
I'm gonna put on it'll be a 6. 4 points. Womp. And that will be a 2. And 5 points. Okay.
I'll do the market for you.
Thank y'all. Oh, here. Hold the dude. Go, dude. 2. I exiled thee to the closed,
Ooh, he places
sad,
nothing.
the sad towns that you have brought this upon yourself.
Ooh, he doesn't get any points for that, huh?
Right.
Nice.
He is currently reaping what he hath sown.
Nice. Your music sent him back. You're pure metal, Evan. Pure metal.
He had
Okay.
to retreat to the silence of this hamlet.
He's hiding in the bunker.
Oh, okay. Here's what I'm gonna do. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm gonna use my 4, and I'm gonna rotate the market around. So or the wheel around, so I get the market. I'm gonna take this guitar that allows me to place tickets in places
Nice.
where the guard is, and I'm gonna place a 4 ticket right there, and I'm gonna score 5 for that. 37. And then I will I'll use my 5 on my dice to score this because my base lets me allow the scoring minimum.
Well, let me see here. 10. Well, you've got the minimum anyway.
Oh, okay. But I can do that, right?
Yeah, I hadn't really thought about that. I'll allow it this time because we didn't talk about it, but I think I'm going to say no for the future.
If you can score while a guard is there.
Right.
Is that your thought?
Right.
Yeah.
But we didn't talk about it, so I'll allow it.
Yeah, it does kind of make sense that you wouldn't be able to.
Right. But I didn't say it up top. So.
All right, cool. Well, I'll score it.
Yeah, why not?
So I'll score it and I'll use my albums. I have 2 albums. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times 2, 16.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So for 53. And I'm gonna burn it to the ground.
Even else? 5? Oh, yep. Dang, you have a lot of fire. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dope.
for 10 points.
Hell yeah.
Do I get points too? I'm sure.
Yes, you will get 2 points.
All right. It's just number of tickets.
Correct. So you guys can take your tickets back. This guard might as well go away. Off that.
Oh, we have a limited number of tickets. Interesting.
Yes.
Oh, I just deleted mine. I'll be all right.
The grand total is 30, Evan. So you've got 5 out on the board, and you've got 23 in your bag. So you only need 2 more.
Yeah.
So there we go.
So rotate the market, roll the
Easy.
king dice.
Yes, sir.
4.
So he'll add 1 to here and get 1 point.
Right.
And it is Sam's turn. I think Sam's about to score a bunch of points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I
Except
also
for to score this, that doesn't include the King's Gut, the propaganda, right?
The minimum value?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, it does.
Yes.
Okay. And do I have to be there?
Yes.
Okay.
Which
Yeah, I can do
yeah.
it.
Yeah. And you can gain enough fire to burn it down too.
Yep.
Yep.
Man, I kind of felt like we would never catch the king.
3 for movement.
I was worried about it myself.
I am unconcerned about how high that gets.
Okay.
You just believe in the music.
And a pick.
No, because it doesn't freaking matter, man.
Plus this 1 to get 2 fire.
Like, I don't think I'm going to have to wait a long time to see me lose, but I'm definitely waiting to see me lose.
Here and gonna burn it down.
Burn it down.
You got
Is that
2, 4, 6, 9 points
And
right
I'm gonna
now?
spend all 3 albums.
All right.
27?
So 27 plus 12, so 39.
$39.
And then the king will get 3.
You were at 49, right?
Yeah.
So you would be at 88. 88. That's insane.
Pretty good.
That was a whole bunch of points.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also the end of the game, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to finish out this round, and then that'll be the end of the game.
I see. Okay.
And yep, yeah, spend those fires. And then still do the king die.
Does that mean Evan will go again or no?
No.
Okay. So it doesn't like rope. It doesn't go back around to Sam.
It's not okay. It's not one more full round. We just finish out the current round, and that's it.
Okay.
Okay. So I am going to move 1. I'm going to spend my 6 and my 3 plus 2 picks to get 1 point and then 2 more points. There's that. Yep, I will do this. King goes to 5. That doesn't matter. Okay, so now we will score this venue. So I will get 2 points and Evan will get 5. If you want to spend any albums, Evan, now is the time.
Sure.
You have 2, so you could get 10 more points.
Okay. Might as well.
So you just score the last venue at the end?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then
or was that the action you took, was scoring it?
No, that's the
it's just
my action was placing those 2 tickets.
Yeah.
So
gotcha.
the venue that's left will score automatically. So then Jack, you said doing a little end scoring thing. Let's do every combination of 3 picks, fire, and albums that you have, you get a point.
Okay.
So I would get 2 more points.
That's just a point for me. Yeah, that's cool.
All right. So there it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's Shred, and we did it in like an hour and 15 minutes.
3.
Right.
Nice.
Before any feedback, I'd just like to point out that I've played 2 games with Evan in my life, and both times I've had more than twice the score.
I see how it is.
Nice.
Damn.
I see how it is.
That's a burn, man.
Well, it's a shred. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Well.
All right. So one thing that I think right off the top is that instead of placing a venue or a propaganda in each venue that the king is connected to, I need to go back to the old way of doing things, which was the king would place 1 propaganda in the first connected venue in clockwise order, much like how we did the guard placement in this game. But the king only needs to place 1 propaganda per turn instead of 2.
Why do you say that?
Yeah, why do you say that, Matt?
Because I think that, I guess 2 of us did beat him.
Yeah. I was close too. I could have.
You were very close. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points.
There could have been a situation where I, scored an additional 5 points had I played a different turn or like collected another album.
Yeah.
If I had 1 more album, I would have beat him.
What I think I would do is place or have him just place 1 propaganda per turn, but lower some of the king minimums on the scoring tiles.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I thought it was fine.
You thought it was fine?
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Also, I kind of like the dramatic tension of like at the end, there's a big rush of scoring. That's like, oh, wow, we're destroying the king with our music. Rad.
Yeah.
It all looked bleak and
and I guess that is kind of a thematic experience is, you have a really steep hill to climb in the fight against tyranny.
And it's clearly not impossible, like, because one of us was close, 2 of us beat him one-handedly. So
yeah. Okay. Yeah. This was the first game that I played like that, so I'll play a few more, but yeah, that was something that was kind of in the back of my mind the whole time about just
now in a lower player count, maybe it would be a different story, but I'm not sure because you'd be placing, I don't know, it's hard to say.
Yeah,
he'd be placed less often compared to the number of turns you're taking.
That's true.
Or less compared to your score.
Right.
And with this player count, it actually made you feel things about the king because like he is so actually oppressive in his early game score. It feels like you can't beat him until all of a sudden you've been able to actually create a movement that has momentum in your scoring points.
Right. Until you're actually able to start filling out the venues and start boxing them out and stuff. Yeah. But in a lower player count game, that would be a lot harder to do. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I also admittedly haven't tested this at 2 players very much.
Yeah.
Like most of
I
my
keep
games of
testing
this
it.
have been 4 players.
Yeah, I think the change that you made on the fly about letting us use our movement however we want was nice. I like that flexibility.
Cool.
And I would keep playtesting this. It seems to have a relatively balanced end game state.
Sweet. Cool.
With the king's difficulty.
Yeah.
You know, alone. There may be other things, but
no, for sure. But the king, that's the thing that's been the hardest to, like, I want to find that balance between oppressive and daunting, but not impossible. And that's been the thing that I've just been pulling my hair out over. And this is definitely, I guess, the closest that it's felt.
I thought that felt good. Sam and I both it seems like we had a good experience with that. Evan was like, it's hopeless.
You guys,
not as much.
You guys did fine, yeah. You guys did fine.
How many of these smaller tiles do you have? Is it just
the scoring tiles?
Yeah.
20. There's 20.
Oh, those are random.
They are, yeah. Well, I mean,
like they're randomly placed.
Yeah, they're variable at setup. Yeah, and then there's 20 venue cards as well.
I do feel one of the reasons why the king felt so strong early on was because he happened to have these 2 that were both 3s. Very easy.
Let me look at my spreadsheet and see how many of those there actually are. Yeah, so there are 3 tiles that have a king minimum 3 on them. There's a bunch of 4s and a bunch of 5s, and then a couple of 6s.
One of the things I noticed in the setup of the board, did you notice that there were no 3 spots for tickets in this particular setup?
I did not notice that.
I thought about placing a 3 as a ticket, and I was like, oh, there's no place to place a 3.
That's really funny. That's really funny.
That's not so much an issue with picks, though, you know.
Yeah. Well, in this, so all of the numbers 1 through 6 are evenly distributed across the 20 cards. It's just which ones are on which cards.
Yeah, it's just an interesting luck.
Yeah,
scenario.
That's
where
really
you
funny.
no
I didn't notice that. That's really funny.
It's probably not a problem because we ended up doing just fine placing and scoring venues.
Did we?
We
so
did.
Yeah, feedback. Maybe Evan.
Should we do it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. So, I think first off, the theme is fun, but I think you need to lean into it more. Like, I love this rock battle for the heart of the kingdom, and like overthrowing the fascist king as he's putting up his posters and stuff, smashing the music. Then we're rocking the venues and getting the villagers in there. Like, I think the theme is really fun. I want to see it come out just a touch more, and I'm not quite sure what I mean by that, but just
so one thing that I plan to do is like to name all of the venues.
Oh, sure.
Like the typical fantasy names, the Broken Bone or whatever,
yeah.
Like that kind of stuff. I really want to, on the player boards, I want to have, obviously like character art for the different, I want to have a band of orcs and a band of elves and and either give them some kind of like passive asymmetric ability or a suggestion that I got from John Deal was having like, if you roll a certain combination of numbers, for one band it could be a 6 and a 4, and for another band, it could be a 9 and a 3, and that would give you some kind of like, ultimate ability or whatever. And I think that would be a really cool way to bring out the theme. But yeah, functionally, mechanically, that is something that I've been struggling with, like outside of those couple of ideas of how do I lean into this, because I don't want to introduce like a combat system or anything.
Right.
So yeah, that is something that is definitely in the foreground of my thoughts, and I'm just kind of waffling a bit.
Okay, so this track right now, like this icon is just referencing the track, but right now it looks like it should start from the left and go to the right, and then when you get here, it's the revolution. Right, just visually, like this looks like something cool is happening.
Right.
But that's not what the track is doing. Right, so it's just kind of it's a mismatch of what it looks like versus what it's actually doing. Sure. So this spot should be the big circle that's like, oh, game over, doom,
Right.
The king wins. And you could think about having this be a back and forth where if we get to here, then it's a revolution and we incite the rabble to overthrow the king versus lockdown. You could actually have that be kind of do more what it looks like, but that just kind of came to my brain.
That is actually how it was in a previous version. You started in the middle, and it was a more tug of war type thing. I may revisit that because you're not the first person to say it.
Yeah. I think it would liven this track up a bit. Right now, it just felt like some management. For like not any real thematic benefit.
Yeah. And you could increase the number of guards as you get close to either side. So like every space is a guard in the last 2 spaces on both sides. So
well, that's another thing that I've been kind of toying with, because so this is the 3 and 4 player side, and this is the 2 player side. So the 2 player side is shorter. It has less guard spots, but trying to find, the balance of how much, like how many spaces does each player count need? How many guard spaces do each of those tracks need? That's been another kind of sticking point, but
this circle right now doesn't have a theme on it. Right. So this is a place where it's either like it's got to go or it's got to become relevant thematically. Why is it there? What is it doing? What is it representing? I would almost say, I mean, obviously my style is to tell people what to do, and then you have to figure out why I'm saying that, and then correct it your way. But but to me, this board is not relevant. What is relevant in this game is placing tickets. I tried to do other things, and we see how that went, right?
Yeah.
Everybody else placed more tickets, and we saw how that went. So currently, I mean, obviously you can balance it if you don't want that to be that way, but currently placing tickets is the best thing to do.
Right.
Unless you're in danger of losing.
Right.
The game for everybody, right? Which I was doing those actions when they weren't necessary. I was buying, like, tableau building is my jam, right? But that wasn't useful for me here.
Right.
I got cards and then proceeded to never do the things that you would do to use cards, right? Because that would require, placing tickets. So they did play into placing tickets, but they distracted me from placing tickets. And I would say almost every single one of these actions distracts me from placing tickets. And so as a kind of major overhaul, if that's the sort of thing that you try, I would get rid of all of those dice placement actions and you have a movement, and you can buy tickets, and you have this rotating disc. This is how you gain, cards and picks and whatever, right? Because you've got a couple of different ways of doing it. You don't really need that. Like I don't know if you've been paying attention to, at least in this play, like how infrequently people were using these dice number actions.
Yeah.
Like very infrequently. It did happen because sometimes you need to do these things, but you can incorporate these in other ways, right? You don't have to have this way, right? It can be things up here. It can be on your turn, at the end of your turn after you place a ticket. If you satisfy the thing, you just close the thing or whatever, right? Instead of making me roll another 3 or whatever.
Right.
I think on every single one of my turns, Evan, because I had a similar thought. But what I would say is just make it mandatory. You do movement, tickets, and one of the actions, because that's what I did every single turn.
It could be. I'm just not convinced you need all these numbered actions or any of them.
Yeah,
I guess is what I mean.
I would probably reduce the 7 and the 8, if anything, because that just confused me. Like I was like, how do I roll a 7 or an 8? But also I didn't want to do either of those actions really. I wasn't really. It was too costly to me to do it.
Yeah.
Well, I used the 7 action one time. The 8 action didn't get used at all. Because it's a shitty action. Like I had a different action on there up until a couple of days ago. And for this playtest, I was like, oh, that other one sucks. Let's try this one.
Yeah.
And turns out that one sucks too.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I think the 7 is your only real take that.
Yeah. And
I'm the one that took that as like the person farthest and back. It didn't actually set me back more than 1 point, but still, like, I would either lean more into the take that or get rid of it.
Well, so, right. Yeah, no, I agree. Because I did that to you.
Yeah.
Because I was going to try and fulfill the secret goal. And then I was like, oh no, I don't have enough actions. If I don't score this venue right now, then the king could possibly place a token there and then he would close that venue instead. And so all I did was take a point away from you.
Right.
It was like, it didn't benefit me at all.
Right.
And that sucks. So yeah, yes.
So that's what I would say. I'm not convinced that you need this breakdown of actions by die number.
Yeah.
But that's just personal opinion. I think this roundy do can kind of serve that purpose.
Can carry some of that weight. Yeah.
But personal opinion.
Well, here, let me say a couple of things really quick.
Okay.
So I'm a big Uwe Rosenberg fan.
Yeah.
And you have games like, A Feast for Odin is probably the big one. Fields of Arla, where you have like just an insane number of worker placement spots.
Yeah.
You're never going to use all of them in a certain game or in a single game, but depending on what strategy you're taking, depending on what type of game you're pursuing, you need to have X, Y, and Z certain options. So I guess that's where my head was at, of like, you might not use all of these actions in any single game, but it's nice to have the option. So I guess my question is like, is that a dumb reason?
I mean, I think that's just design preference. Like for me, yes.
Okay.
But
fair enough.
But for somebody else, that might be a no, right? Like they might love all these little things that they might have to look at, but not use in any given game.
You probably won't do.
Right. Some people might love that. I don't love that, but
fair.
Yeah.
So if the wheel in the middle does more of the heavy lifting, like, do you think the solution is add more slices it still functions the same, but now you have, instead of 6 options, you have 8 or 10 or
I don't
whatever.
know if you need to add more slices.
Just change the
You're
instead of
you're
having 2 fire
duplicating.
and 2
Yeah,
picks.
yeah.
Yeah, just
You,
change them to be other things.
Yeah.
Got it.
Right, because you could do this one, and that's all you really need on there.
Right.
For
4 and the 6. The
On
4
there?
and the 6,
Oh,
yeah.
Because if you make the venue score automatically,
yeah,
yeah,
That's all you'd really need.
yeah, get rid of the 7 and 8 entirely.
it's nice to be able to score early though. Like
Sure.
choose when you score.
Well, that's what I'm saying is you use your movement die to do that.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Oh, you're saying just this. I mean, there's other ways to accomplish that, though, right? You know, rather than having this whole system. If this is the one thing that you'll miss from this system, like, there's another way to do that.
You could work it in another way. Yeah, for
sure.
Yeah.
So,
Also,
yeah,
really nice to be able to convert as many dice as you want into picks and fire, because that was the only way I was able to burn down a venue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's another thing to maybe preserve from this. Figure out a way to work in if you were to move away from it.
Yeah.
As Evan suggests.
I'm glad you guys didn't play the last couple of versions, because it was a 1-for-1. Like no matter what value die you used for that action, you got 1 pick or you got 1 fire. Yeah, it was a slog.
Yeah, that's brutal. So I've got, since it seems like tickets is the best thing to do. And I basically should have, maybe with 1 or 2 exceptions, I probably should have just placed 2 tickets every single turn. Unless I needed more picks because I couldn't place my second ticket or whatever, right? Like everything should have been in service of placing more tickets. Have you found another strategy that is useful in this game?
No.
Okay. So either
go ahead. No, go ahead.
So either you need to make other strategies viable, or kind of
eliminate everything else.
Or eliminate everything else, or do something more interesting with the tickets. Right? Because if it's only like he who places the most tickets winneth, right? Then you go, oh shoot, I rolled better than you. I didn't have to wait and get some picks.
Yeah,
I could just place my tickets.
Or just make tickets a mandatory action. Like you have to spend 1 dice for movement. You have to spend 1 dice for tickets minimum. And then, if you still roll 3 dice, you can use that 3rd one to do either, increase your movement or increase your tickets.
Well, so now like we're saying all this, and the reason that I had movement as a mandatory action is because I didn't want somebody to just be able to sit there and hammer away at one of these venues, being I'm just going to place ticket after ticket after ticket after ticket.
If I play this again, that's exactly what I would do. Maximum ticket placement all the time, every time.
Yeah, and I was still able to do that,
even with the mandatory movement. So maybe
mandatory movement didn't matter to me at all, because the way your dice work and the way your movement works, no matter what, I could always be on that 3 or 4.
You could get to wherever you wanted, no matter what, every time.
Not drop a ticket in that one venue.
Yeah. So, okay. So that's unnecessary. Okay.
I want either another strategy to be viable, or something more interesting about the tickets.
Yeah.
I mean, like this is something, right? But it's not a strategy. It's like while I'm placing tickets, I might as well shoot for that pattern. Yeah. And you could incorporate like this track as an alternate strategy. When you're moving towards the revolution, you're getting points or whatever. There's other ways of doing stuff. Doesn't have to be that. Obviously, it's whatever. But right now, it seems a bit single-noted with the tickets, as far as like what you would actually want to do in a game versus what there is possible to do.
Right.
And I spent more of my actions like. Well, I don't know if that's true. Anyway, I don't know if that's actually true.
You spent a lot of actions just kind of doing stuff.
Yeah, that wasn't really useful because it wasn't placing tickets. The Revolution track, we already talked about that. The King's Boot discourages banding together. I wanted that to be more of an interesting interaction. Where if we band together, and he does this, we never really had like an kind of thing. And maybe we would have if it was all four, maybe that would have. But we never had more than one bad guy on the board at any given moment, right? And so there wasn't much tension going on here. And I don't know if that's just dumb luck of the roll, which if that's true, then maybe look at that as a potential issue. If in a game that is looking to play in about an hour, a certain amount of dumb luck roll is fine. But you don't want it to lose you your tension.
Right. This definitely was like the easiest game that I've played, guards wise. You guys were also like, you and Jack were
getting rid of guards.
You were the most aggressive players in getting rid of guards that I've ever played with. Like every single time there was a guard on the board, you guys were like, nope, putting chops to that.
Well, because it was something other than placing a ticket that I could do that I thought was cool.
Yeah.
Right. It turned out it was a bad plan, but
because then it just earned some victory points.
It did, but it allowed everybody else to place their tickets, which was the best move.
Yeah. You were falling on your sword for the rest.
Yes, and it's obvious in the score. You've got this kind of situation where the scoring is. How often do you have a really tight score at the end?
So this is actually only the second or third game where I have done the kind of like Azul style scoring, and the scores have been pretty similar to ours every time. It's like, one person, the first player is 20 points ahead of the second player. Second and third are pretty close, and then there's one person way behind.
Yeah. So you've got this like better scoring system, right? So you've got your records, which it behooves you to hold on to until you make your big move. Right. And that's the best way to use them. I was hoping there would be a little more tension as far as like, ooh, should I do it now or should I do it later? But there never seemed to be a question as far as when someone should use their records, right? It was just always like, oh, now's the best.
Right.
And so, and that lends itself to the, if you're a person who happened to be placing all your tickets, guess what? Now you mega score. And if you did any other strategy, guess what? Those records suck, bro.
Yeah.
Right? Oops. You did the wrong thing because it wasn't placing tickets. And the records just kind of doubles down on that.
On the only strategy.
Right. So, either the records need to do something different and bolster a different strategy, or, if it does bolster this one big strategy, then it's boom or bust, right? And you're going to get, as you were saying, you do see this regularly, right? You're going to boom or you're going to bust. You either, multi-multied or you didn't.
Right.
And so I think there's something to look at there. Kind of the winners win more kind of deal.
Right.
The player, the king, I can't read that. I'll come back to it. Burn it down. I don't understand what's happening there with the theme,
Mm-hmm.
and I fell into the trap of, just like albums, these fire tokens are the triple down on the tickets.
Yeah, totally.
Right? It's the triple down. And so
Totally.
I got a bunch of fire tokens. I was like, sweet, I'm gonna do some sweet closings. And then I was like, oh wait. I need all 12 of these to be filled. Oh, that's not going to happen. And I've known that, for a half hour before the game ended or whatever. Maybe not that long.
Right.
The last 20 minutes of the game, I was like, oh, this isn't happening.
Right.
For me, I have all these almost completely worthless actions and flame tokens here because I didn't triple down on the right thing.
Right.
And so again, these flame tokens either need to bolster a different strategy or so and then figure out why we are burning down the revolutionary venue instead of the system, right? Why are we not burning down the castle and the outbuildings for the guards instead of the venues?
There's so much just like stupid backstory to like what this game used to be, and that's exactly what it used to be. Is like you were burning down like outposts and fortresses and shit.
Okay, yeah.
And as I was just like chopping things away and sort of condensing things, it was like, this is a thing that I love. Just like just thematic imagery.
Yeah.
And so I was
it
like,
looks
this
cool. I
has
like
to
it.
stay. Right. Yeah. Like this has to stay. But like, it's always been in the back of my mind, like, this doesn't make sense.
Right. Yeah.
So no, I feel you for sure.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's
I like the idea of just like rebellion. Like you talked about the rebellion track. Like if you like stir up the crowd enough with your music or like with your concert or whatever, that like the king doesn't have control in that area anymore. Like I don't know, something like that.
It could be a freedom token, right? It could be a freedom.
That's kind of where my head is of like, oh, like the crowd gets so rowdy because your music is so sweet that like they just go Woodstock 99 and like burn down the venue. But then it's like, but then why are you placing a work? Why are you losing a work?
Yeah. Well,
there's a lot of disconnect.
Wouldn't they be defecting from the rule of the king? Right.
Well, I mean, I think that would depend on how much propaganda he had in that venue, right? Because how I think of it is, if there's not a lot of propaganda in that venue, that those people are kind of neutral, like no one has reached them yet.
Yeah. I guess I'm seeing it as like, this was closed by fascism, and this is open and free in rebellion. Right, and that might interact with this track, right? Those two things would interact with that track positively or negatively,
right?
And this could influence, and it does influence victory points, but could influence victory points in a couple of different ways. Where like you score early, you liberate this place, you move up the liberation track or whatever. But you don't get the most tickets because another band has actually done more concerts there, right? So it could incentivize like, well, I'm just going to shut this down and score it, even though I'm not going to get the most in tickets. I'll get the bonus for liberating.
Yeah, you might get this. You might get this bonus or whatever.
Yeah.
Because you were the liberator or whatever. The scoring, the different rules for ticket scoring threw me a bit. I was like, wait, they score differently depending on when they're scoring? That just seemed weird.
Like as far as when you place them versus when you score the venue itself?
Yes.
Got it.
Different ways of scoring the same item are just inherently kind of confusing. Two different styles of scoring tickets. I already said that. Revolution looks like the end of the track. I already said that. I already said that. Make the right look like the thing. Okay, got it. Tickets. 2 actions. Yeah, that was always do tickets. Okay, got it. Must move. Maybe. I don't know. Okay. Okay, so now gameplay flow is really, really choppy. Right?
Yeah.
So you've got I do 3 actions, and then we cycle the market, and then we roll the die. You do 3 actions, and then we cycle the market, and then you roll the die. You do 3 actions, and then you cycle. So you've kind of maximized the wait time between turns, right?
Yeah.
Like you maxed it out. So usually in a game that's an hour or less, the rule of 2 is kind of the like, if you're gonna let players do more than one thing on a turn, like 2 is kind of the max time wise. Obviously, that depends on the game, depends on the choices they're making, and what the possibilities are. But the more possibilities you have, obviously, the fewer choices you're going to want to allow them, just time wise. So with all these choices and 3 actions, I felt like for a game of this weight and ideal length, that the time between turns was a little too long.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I felt like this market did not need to rotate that often.
Well, so this was another really interesting example of you and Jack being the most aggressive players that I've ever had in terms of the market, because literally every game before this, everybody has been like, who cares about that? And so I've been trying to find ways to incentivize the market, and it's like, well, maybe if they see more of the cards,
if they,
but then
yeah,
I don't know, man.
I like that there's a market, right? I want this to be a viable strategy rather than just bolster my ticket strategy, which is currently what it does. I want my tableau to do something, and that's why I went for it. And then I was like, oh, the tableau doesn't do anything unless you have tickets. And well, that's not strictly true, but generally
the market benefited Sam playing potions on a couple occasions.
There was a couple other things going on in there that let you place more tickets. But you don't need to cycle the market that often, right? You don't need to drop this thing off. And a very straight across alternative is 1 action, 1 action, 1 action, 1 action, cycle, roll.
Wait, sorry. Right. I was on the Zoom screen, not on the TTS.
Oh,
screen.
yeah.
Do that again.
You could have players just take 1 action each and then cycle the market and roll the king die. It's not a direct translation of how many times the king would normally roll, so that might, it'll change your numbers a bit.
So that I have tried that.
Yeah, what was it? What was wrong with it?
The king is totally irrelevant. If
Why
the king only goes once per round, it's absolutely not formidable enough.
No. Every person uses 1 die, and then the king goes.
But then the king is still going half as much, because you're doing 2 actions.
Depends on player count.
Well, yeah, that's also true.
He would be going 3 in this player count.
In a 4-player game, he'd be going half as much.
3/4.
Well, you would be, because like movement, I don't think is so much of an action. But like you would be doing 2 actions, and then the king would go. Jack does 2 actions, the king goes. But then so the king is going every 2 actions, whereas if we each did 1 action and then the king goes, the king is going every 4 actions.
Yeah, so I'm not saying that you need to keep the king scoring points at the same rate that he currently does, right? What I'm saying is the time between turns seems to be an issue.
Right. No, I agree with you there.
Okay.
I agree with you there. But that's the thing. That's one of the things. It's not the only thing. It's one of the things that I've been struggling with.
Yeah.
Is like turn structure and turn time versus like how does this king work, and where is his, sweet spot of being formidable but not being overly fiddly and like all that stuff. Yeah. So it's yeah.
I mean, even just not cycling the market after every player's turn would go a long ways to reduce that fiddliness.
Yeah.
But that's what I have to say about that. Yeah. Heavy downtime, one die at a time, yada yada. The wheel, why? What is it doing? Super luck. This was talking about not just the dice you roll, right? That's inherent in a dice rolling, dice placement, yada yada game. But more so the king. The randomness of the king moving either needs to provide such a cool moment, or let us plan for it a bit, right?
What by a super cool moment that we can't plan for?
I mean, maybe it's just because I was behind, and so like what he did didn't really affect me in any way because I wasn't gonna come back anyway. So
you want it to affect all of us no matter what.
So to me, maybe the stakes were just lower than they are for the average player, right? So like maybe my experience kind of colored how I felt about his movement.
Sure.
But it didn't seem like his movement overly affected anybody really. I mean, yes, he did place down some tickets that people had to remove or whatever, but like, and we had to make sure that we didn't lose, but
like all he was doing was scoring points. He wasn't doing anything to actually affect us.
It didn't seem to me. It seemed like the stakes were really low.
Totally. Yeah. No. Totally.
I felt like I was delayed from scoring twice by the king's movement.
Okay, so it did affect you more than me. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, ugh, because he kept landing in my spot,
yeah.
closing my venue, and you took that guitar that I needed, so I couldn't place tickets while he was there. So
how did that feel? How did that feel luck wise versus planning for it wise? Like the ability to not plan for it. How did that feel for you as the person that it actually did feel like it affected?
I think it was actually okay because I ended up scoring 5 points to get rid of that guard. So I still ended up in a place where I was close and competitive, but and I don't feel like I would have got Sam no matter what. So I really felt okay about it. Also, the short playtime helped mitigate that a lot for me. I felt like, oh, okay.
An hour
play this game again.
Yeah, an hour max with luck elements. You really are. That's kind of the break. I think the break point. So you could
spend 3 hours. I would have been like, the dice didn't go
right. In the 3 hours, this game needs to be lit on fire. I mean, it's like King of Tokyo. Like, I love King of Tokyo.
But yeah,
but
if
it was
any
longer than it was, it's like, get this game out of my life forever.
The other alternative, if you're looking for alternative to random movement for the king, is you can tie it to the track again, right? Making the track more relevant
to the revolution track.
Yes.
Yeah.
The farther he is towards, whichever direction you think is more interesting, like the more movement he does, and the farther he travels.
Oh, that's really interesting.
And the more guys that he puts out, right? Maybe one direction he puts out more guys, in the other direction he travels farther, or whatever.
Or his guards move with
or whatever, yeah. And that gives the players some amount of like, ooh, if this track, I know he's going to move at least 2, but if this track gets bumped up before, my next turn, then he might actually move 3, in which case maybe I shouldn't, like it just gives you something to, an interesting interaction with the game.
Super interesting. I like that a lot.
So you can kind of tie his movement to that track a bit, and the, and then if you did all the, things that I like, which of course is not what everybody should do, then I would say you must spin the wheel, but that's regardless, totally a side point.
I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna make a note because I like it.
Oh yeah, removing my ticket felt bad.
It did feel bad. It felt bad for me because like it didn't help me at all. Like I just did it, and then I was like, oh, I'm not even gonna use the thing that I meant to do, and then I just felt like a jerk.
Yeah.
It felt bad.
Dice values. Oh yeah, it felt weird that there was a bunch of these actions I couldn't use, but again, we ever kind of gone over that a bunch. So I'm down to two small. Oh, super luck. I already erased that. Okay. Oh no, three small things. Wide point swings. We already talked about that. Tickets. Nothing else matters. Already talked about that. Minimum values to score. Like this 12er, I think just kind of like rubbed salt in my wound. I don't think it's as big of an issue as I was writing down. I think it just kind of was like, oh, you didn't do tickets, huh? So which it's right. I don't think this in and of itself was an issue. I think it was just compounding a different issue. I think it might actually be fine on its own.
There was one game that I want to say that it was Jack. That there was like one ticket in the venue, and Jack is like, well, I'm going to score it.
Yeah.
And he just got a ton of points off of one ticket. And I was like,
oh, yeah.
Well, no, there has to be a minimum then.
Yeah, that did happen.
Like, I think that was you.
Man, I played this game. I have played this game before, but it was
a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, it was almost unrecognizable tonight.
Yeah.
Playing it, I was like, wow, this is way different.
Yeah. I definitely felt bad that I couldn't score that thing, but I don't know if that was just a compounding factor or like if it actually is an issue.
Little column A, little column B, probably.
Yeah. I'll say that because I just said that, like almost unrecognizable, Matt. I mean that in a totally positive way. Like,
thanks,
like,
man.
I think you've made some really positive changes since the last time I played. So
thanks, man.
Yeah.
Okay. King is player close remove. King is player close remove.
Welcome to interpreting Evan's notes, Sam. What
let's cross that one out. Okay, here's my last thing. If you are looking for another strategy to incorporate into the game that incorporates some of what you had said that you were thinking about doing at the beginning, you could do a thing where you can actually take steps to help the king. And if the king wins,
you also win.
Then the player,
you share the victory.
The player who is farthest behind is the winner.
Ooh.
Right. So it's kind of
betting for the king.
There's a tipping point, right?
Mitigation.
There's a tipping point where I go, ooh, there's no way I'm coming back. Let's get some more guards out here, right? You know what I mean? And let's get some of your tickets out, or whatever the strategy might be to help the king, to really bolster the king, so that I have somewhere to go with it, and it's an alternate strategy. I think that might be interesting. Maybe it's I don't know. We're thinking about.
Yeah, like I want that to be a part of this game because like I love hidden trader games. Oh my god, I love them. And I would love to have but I would love to have that sort of aspect in this game, and I think that's a really cool idea.
Well, it's actually really interesting from an like ethical standpoint or whatever to push that issue for a player, because you ask yourself like, well, in what circumstance do you support fascism or these
especially if I put the word fascism in the rule book, you really have to be like,
this is I mean this is far enough removed. I think this is far enough abstracted, like it's fantasy / medieval.
It's not even as close as like This War of Mine,
right?
Well, and you don't need, and probably in my personal opinion, shouldn't use fascism. You should say oppressive king.
Right. Tyrannical.
Take it away from the current sociopolitical stuff. And just say tyrannical king.
Yep.
Totally. I agree with that.
Yeah, that's that's definitely one of my like character flaws is I am very like, this is what I believe.
Right.
Like, everybody, look at what I believe.
There's something to be said for, using art as, social commentary, and there's actually nothing wrong with that.
I think this is not the venue for it.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I write music and I can be like, oh, like whatever. Like, I'm not even going to get into it. Music and like film and literature, I think are like appropriate venues for that. Games are like, you can do it, but I think you have to code it a little more. So
not every game has to do that for sure.
Exactly. Like there are some games, there's like I don't know if you're familiar with like Block by Block.
I've heard of, haven't played.
Yeah, it's a very like openly, revolutionary, like leftist type of communist whatever type of game. And it's like, how much room is there in the market for more than one of those? But also, like, how many people are going to tolerate more than one of those?
Yeah, the question is, who do you lose out on?
Yeah.
Who doesn't come to the table?
Right. If it's a pure marketing question, then it's like, who do you gain, who do you lose?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I don't intend to self-publish anyway.
Yeah.
But like, I'm also, like, I want to have people like think about stuff, but like my I guess what I meant by the character flaw is when there's a line between having people think about stuff and just like being an asshole and pissing them
it doesn't
off.
have to be it doesn't have to be overt.
Exactly.
Forcing them to think about something they don't want to be. But it is an interesting point where you realize, like, at what point would I like side myself with a tyrannical king? And you realize, like, when a person in power offers a person who is totally powerless some of their power, that's pretty attractive.
Yeah,
and that like you could come away from this game thinking that, like, oh man, that was crazy. I can't believe I did that.
I would totally take a breath from the king. Right. Yeah.
Wow, well, interesting. Because that applies. And the thing is, when you detach things from specific points in history or whatever, they almost become more applicable. Because it's like, this is just like something that applies in a lot of places.
More universal.
It's just a general idea instead of being a direct analog to something that is happening or has happened. Yeah,
sure.
That's definitely true. Yeah,
totally.
So if you feel like adding that aspect to the game, I think that would be a cool alternate strategy possibility to think about. Even though, ethically, I don't know, but morally, who knows?
But I think that's the thing that drives at least a lot of games that I like is, that decision where, like, I'm playing through Fallout 4 again right now. And that one, at the end of that game, it's like, okay, which faction are you going to side with? You have to decide.
Right.
And like, I mean, that's a choice. You've spent a lot of time with each of these factions, and now you have to go kill the other ones, depending on who you side with.
Right.
Or
it's an interesting,
Or
it's
in a game of Nemesis, it's like your goals could be like, I could either make sure that the ship makes it back to Earth, or I could make sure that Jack's character dies.
Right.
Like, as long as Jack's character dies, I win the game. Nothing else matters.
Right.
And that's a really strange place to be in, because it would be easier to kill Jack's character, but it would be more ethical to make sure that we all survive and try to win that way. I love those types of decisions.
That's interesting. Like, the video game Fable,
Yeah. Oh,
where you're like, who do I want to be in this alternate world?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Totally.
Cool. Anyway, I'll that's mostly what I've got. And then, of course, I always forget to say, just because I'm saying the things that I think need improvement doesn't mean that I don't think there's a great solid base of game here. Like I love the basic idea, and yeah, I like the I actually really enjoy the kind of the theme of it, like rock, rock heavy metal band versus the king. Like I think it's hilarious,
Thanks.
And I'm excited to see where it goes.
Thanks, man. And I have a page and a half of notes already, so I appreciate all the feedback, dude. It was excellent. Thank you so much for your time. Thank
Yeah,
you
of
so much
course.
for your opinions.
I hope a little bit it's useful. Yeah.
I'm sure more than a little bit will be useful.
Sam?
I there's a lot that I enjoy about it. Some points that Evan said I definitely agree with. There's a lot of management that goes into playing the game. Something that wasn't mentioned, you've got an hour to hour and 15 goal play time, but I look at this game and I'm like, set up and tear down is 10 to 15 minutes each.
Yeah.
Those times do not match with each other. In my experience, if I've got 15 minutes that I'm setting up a game, and then especially 15 minutes plus a 20-minute teach, do an hour game, then probably not going to make it to the table a whole lot.
Word.
The other thing that I found that I was surprised by is it seemed like you had points that were weirdly cooperative. Almost so much that you could do this game in two different versions. Not rolling the king die, even removing the propaganda and the guards, even also the cards, all of the non-consumable cards, all of the equipment cards actually aim towards a co-op experience. So I'd be interested to see like how this game goes, where the bands have a common objective here, which is just to be the opposite counterweight to the king and to move things towards their feelings. So I think it has some potential to be explored there, but also with that, I think if you explored that option a little more, you could find that you could really simplify and cut down on the competitive aspect, because the core aspect of this game, you can cut 2/3 out. Down to, and you could have a much more approachable game that is just as fun as this experience.
Cool. If it was co-op, wow, interesting.
The last other little point that I think, these patterns here, missed opportunity not having these be chords, like actual chords.
Oh man, okay, yeah.
It might take some changing your layouts for tickets, but instead of just these random patterns, if they were actual
that's
chords.
so smart. That's so smart.
Yeah,
for sure, 1,000%.
Yeah, right.
That's very cool. Nice. Did you have anything else, Sam? Any other thoughts? Or nice, cool.
Well, hey, thank you, man. Those are a couple of really great ideas. Like, I have definitely thought about the co-op stuff. I personally don't really like co-op games, so that's why I was like, no, it has to be competitive. But like, I think you're right that I could cut out so much of this, and I think that would solve a lot of the things that Evan was talking about, where like if it was just straight co-op, that I think a lot of it would be simpler, and that I should not let my personal biases get in the way. But oh my god, the guitar chords for the goal cards, that's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant.
And the main thing with the co-op comment is not that the game should be co-op, it's that you have a lot of co-op things in a competitive game.
Right.
So if you pull the co-op out of the competitive, then you might find a better place.
It's I gotta lean in one way or the other. Yeah, I think you're right. I think you are right.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
lots to unpack there. But man, thank you for your time. Thank you for your feedback. Thanks for playing. Means a lot. Thank you.
Happy to.
Sweet. All right, Matt, I have mostly these are actually graphic design changes and component changes I think will help you manage one, the setup and tear down. But
Sweet.
also, if you take this to a publisher and pitch it, they'll say get rid of all this stuff. So maybe some of this stuff will help.
I mean, they're gonna say get rid of all this stuff because I'm not a graphic artist. If you couldn't tell.
Sure. No, sure, but like here are a few things that I feel like bog down the gameplay that could be simplified. One is all of these tokens, these little bits, the picks, the fire, and the albums could all be tracks on your player board that are managed by a single cube that moves up and down. Or like another way to look at that would be like thematically to look at it as like a mixer where you have like a volume where you have like sliders that go up and down. So that's something that I think would be really nice, like a dual layered player board where you have a single cube that moves up and down on albums, up and down on fire, up and down on picks. Then you don't need any of these tokens, and it's much easier for you to manage. And
totally,
way less like fiddly is a term that comes up a lot. So
and way fewer components.
Yeah, so that's one. The other thing is these victory points can just be on these cards, these chord cards. So on one side, there's this pattern with a 4, and on the other side is an 8. So you can get rid of all those. Let's see. The other thing is the workers. You don't need the workers, I don't think.
No.
Did you? I kind of would just get rid of them and just have a single worker out here.
Yeah.
That's your band.
Especially like if, like Evan was saying, if the venue score, if something triggers the venue scoring automatically, you don't need the workers.
Yeah, and I think then you're left
even
with
if
just
not
tickets and the king's tickets,
and
those are your only pieces aside from cards and player boards. So that would help, I think.
Totally.
So that's something. Another thing, I really like the mid-game scoring in this game because I actually did have a pretty good sense of where we were. And I like the tension that the mid-game scoring kind of built around the king. I thought that was emotionally satisfying, given the fact that I was close to a position where I could score against the king, and I could see what Sam was doing too.
Totally.
I like that tension. I thought emotionally it was good. I think mid-game scoring is tough to do. And in Evan's position, it probably felt very different, right? Like the mid-game scoring just made it feel like, can we end this? But we got to the end pretty quickly. So, so anyway, that was something I actually really liked. And I would just encourage you to keep up with mid-game scoring and just look at ways to maybe balance it or give a catch-up mechanism to that player who's like, can see they're falling behind. What are they going to do about it? I really liked Evan's suggestion about rebellion or siding with the king is really interesting. That could be working against the other bands. What does that do? I really like that suggestion. Workers and tracks. Clarify theme was a note that I had. We talked about that a lot. And we've talked about that before. So just making the theme like tighten it, make it specific, probably make it deeper with the lore. Like if you have specific bands or whatever villages, like that could be a way to kind of, increase that theme. But let's see. There were no 3s. I already talked about that. Okay, so here's the other thing. The teach for the game, right? I would lead with objective, then scoring, then actions you can take, then turn order, so that you get into the first turn and you know exactly what the turn order is like. And you kind of went back like the opposite of that, sort of.
Objective, then scoring, then what was
objective, scoring, action, options, and then turn order. So that when you go into play, you have the turn order top of mind and the objective was the first thing you heard. So
Yeah,
I know what I'm doing in this game,
Totally.
and this is what I do on my turn. And then the other two things are in the middle: how you score points and what you can do.
Absolutely.
So that's something I think will help with your teach. That's just a suggestion that I have. Something I found
that's a great suggestion, and I don't know why this game is different in my mind, but like when I teach games, like at game night, like when I teach published games to people, like that's exactly how I teach it.
Yeah.
And it's like, why don't I teach this game that way?
In my experience, I am really bad at teaching and pitching my own games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like, there's some stuff and you do things.
It all makes sense in my head.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Whereas, if it wasn't my baby, then I understand the things that need to be explained in the order that makes sense,
I'm always haphazard.
Yeah.
I'm always haphazard. It could be a game I know like the back of my hand that I love, and I'll just teach it all over the place. So I need to, what I know is like, if I have like a game night or something with people, I'm like, I need to set aside time beforehand to be like, okay, how am I going to teach this game before we start playing?
Teach it in the same order that Rodney Smith teaches it in.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the correct answer.
Okay. So the other thing with that, and this is my last point, is the market. I love that you can see more of the cards and that you have more options. I like the first time I played this game, I didn't feel like pulling from the market because I didn't, I didn't see enough of it or whatever. This time it felt super easy to gain cards from the market, which I thought was great. And they conferred bonuses that were well worth doing. I thought, like placing additional tickets, this thing allowed me to score early. But well, kind of, it didn't really, because Evan ended up placing tickets right before I scored, but otherwise I would have scored early on that, and the guards were in that spot, so what are you going to do? But my question is, for setup, do you do player number +1 is the card show?
I was just doing 5.
Just
straight up 5.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I see this as a huge potential for analysis paralysis and confusion in the teach and in setup. I just think, if you have more than, I don't know. Yeah.
4.
Yeah, probably 3. Yeah. It just gets where it's like, okay, well,
it's probably exponential.
Yeah.
It's like
if you drop off down to 4, it probably like cuts the problem in half.
Yeah.
And then if you drop down to 3, then it's only like 10% of the problem.
Yeah. And there's a balancing act there between you want to get through the cards and have lots of options, and you don't want players stuck there. So have you tested different numbers here on the show?
Absolutely not.
I would try 3 and 4 just in a game, just randomly, and just see.
And I think
see what works best.
Yeah. And I think if more, so I think putting the market action on the wheel helped a lot. Because then it's like, I just get one. Okay, cool. And that the market refills right away. As soon as you take a card, another one comes out. You don't have to wait till the end of the turn or whatever. Like, I think that cycling is probably sufficient. Like Evan was saying, the market was just churning too much anyway. Not only was it adding to downtime, but it was just like, it didn't need to move that much anyway. So I think 3 or 4 cards in the market at one time, as long as it refills every time somebody gets one, you'll still see enough of that deck to be like, oh, I should be investing in these.
Yeah. And probably at publish, but not your problem if you're pitching. But you could probably use smaller cards like game deck size or something, and push this onto the board, so that it's just easier to set up, less moving around and stuff. But just another thought for condensing and simplifying that setup piece that Sam mentioned. But one last thing were these pieces here. So that's another thing you could probably remove by just taking these cards here, and on the back one side says closed and one side says fire, and you just put facing up, the fire, facing the other way is closed. And you just, based on the orientation is, what it is. Then you don't need those tokens either.
It's either closed or on fire from a certain point of view.
Yeah. Yeah. Closed or liberated, right? Like, yeah, just flip it. So, those are my notes, Matt. Good job, though. I think, I like the changes. I think, either like reducing these actions or moving them in some way. There's a lot of like fine tuning that could be done, but I had, and like Evan said, I like the theme. I think it's really interesting, and I think I really like the cooperation type move or whatever, where it's like, we're all against this king, but we also are trying to be the best metal band, right?
Right.
So, like I think kind of what being in a metal band would be like a little bit. So like I think that's kind of
a little bit. It is.
I think that's kind of a cool like thematic element where you're like, yeah, we're against the man, but also like your music, whatever.
Sweet, man.
Yeah, so
thank you so much, man. Tons of good feedback, super good ideas about condensing the play space and the component count and everything like that. Man, thank you so much. Like all you guys, like these are such good ideas. Like, whew, I got a lot of work to do.
Right. Nah, man, it's a solid base though. I'm excited for it.
Thanks,
for sure.
I appreciate it. Well, hey guys, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on the show,
dude.
Yeah,
totally.
Matt, is there anything you want to plug, or anyway, like how can people get in touch with you? How can people play Shred? If someone wants to follow along, what do they do?
I mean, you can find me on Facebook. I'm just Matt Opal on Facebook. You can join my Discord. I am admittedly very bad at Discord. I don't update it very much,
but you will.
I keep trying. Like I go through spurts, right, with social media where it's like I'm super into it like every day, and I do a bunch of stuff, and then like I don't do anything at all for 3 months. I'm just like I'm so bad at social media, because like in my mind I'm like that's the least important part of the job.
Yeah.
But like it's not.
Right.
It's really important.
Gotta be where the people are.
Yeah.
I want to be where the people are.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm not like a I think like part of it I think is probably because I'm like, oh, I'm not going to take this to Kickstarter. I'm going to pitch this to publishers, where it's like, oh, I don't have to worry about like all that marketing stuff. But it's like, no, I probably still should a little.
Yeah. I mean, as a publisher, no, I'm not a publisher, but publishers, when they work with a very established designer, they are relying on that designer's name to sell the product, not their marketing ability. When they work with a first-time designer and you don't go out there and bust your butt to get this game out in front of people, right? They're gonna be like,
that's a red flag. Yeah.
Right. They're gonna be like, this is your one baby, and you're not out there busting your ass getting it in people's hands.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
So,
and I mean, that's the same thing with like with bands and labels wanting to sign them or whatever. They could be the best band in the world, but like if they've never gone out on tour and like they don't have X number of subscribers on YouTube and all of that stuff, the label's going to be, well, we're not going to risk it.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
you guys,
it's part of a pitch too, to be honest. Like,
Oh,
if
absolutely.
you're a first time or a little known designer or something, and people go medieval, like I like this game, but medieval heavy metal, is that going to work? I don't know. You could say like, well, I have a Discord server with 2,000 people in it,
right?
And they go, oh,
right,
oh.
Yeah, we're running playtests all the time.
This is suddenly more attractive, right?
Yeah, like absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
it's
500 people
it's
on my
one
email
of those,
list.
Yeah. Right. It's one of those things that like I just need to get better at. And yeah, I've just been like, this is not an important thing. And then the more I think about it, it's like, well, it is. It is.
Yeah, just don't overthink it. Just be yourself, post some pictures, play test.
Well, I mean, being myself would be not doing it at all ever because I think it's stupid.
You could just take a photo of this with me going like this and be like, Evan sucks at my game.
All right, make that face again. All right, got it. It's going in the Discord. That's Evan's face.
Crushes Evan again.
Yeah. When you realize there's only one strategy in this version of the game.
Exactly.
All right, folks, you might find Matt on Discord, it sounds
like. You might find me on
And Discord. The link to the Discord is in the description below the video.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I try to be on Facebook. I try to be on Twitter and Instagram at Matt of the Beast. Those are probably about as frequent as Discord. Nice. So, you know. Cool. But yeah, you can get at me if you want to get at me.
Awesome.
But
get after it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks everybody.
Us, Matt. Thanks for sharing.
Dude. Yeah. Thanks for having me. This was invaluable.
Good, man.
Yeah. This is so much good feedback. Yeah. Like I said, I got a lot of work to do. You guys were great. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your opinions and your feedback. Yeah. Thanks for playing. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Of course, man. It's a pleasure. And we'll have you back as a playtester again too.
Oh, dude. Yeah. I would love to do it again. Other people's games, my game, your guys' games.
Right.
When are we gonna do yours?
I know. I finally made Jack play one of my games, and he was like, "Ha, your game needs work too, you son of a."
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Well,
yeah. Also, I would love to play all your guys' games.
Yeah. Also, thanks a lot, Sam, for being on. It's a pleasure to lose to you again. So
yeah, thanks for stepping in last minute, Sam. That was great.
Anytime you need someone to double Evan's score, I'm available.
Nice.
I mean, we're gonna need that pretty regularly. I think people enjoy seeing me lose. I'm pretty sure.
Evan, what's our sign off? It's that was Playtest This.
All right. Did I do it?
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks everybody.
I like it.
All right.